science and psychology, professional writing, master degrees in public administration and criminal justice. And this is the Saturday live stream. I live stream on Mondays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Monday live streaming schedule will be changing. I'll be removing it soon. And on Saturday and Sundays, I just do spontaneous live streams for you guys. So this live stream is going to work as a chat session. So yeah, if you guys have any comment, questions, or concerns, feel free to type it in the chat. I'll be happy to respond to you guys, share my opinion. If there's no comments, I'll just be sure to speak about just random stuff that pop into my head until we end. So hey, King of the Weather, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Hey, Emily, always a pleasure when you guys are on. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you are here. You were definitely the first one to hop on today's live stream. What's your day looking like today? Today, just staying in the house most likely, but these are the nails. This is how it came out from yesterday's manicure. So this is the food and animal nails. It's a hot pink color. If you guys want to see Nicolemia do her manicures, I do my manicures on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as long as I live stream from the Nicolemia studio. And to see all the nail designs I've done thus far, all you have to do is go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my nail playlist videos. King Weather said, they're doing pretty awesome. Okay, nice. You're going to go out with your girlfriend today? Okay, very fun, very fun. Where are you guys planning on going? Are you going to see a Spider-Man movie or farmer's market? What's your itinerary looking like today, King of the Weather? Thank you so much, Emily. Glad you like the nails. Yeah, I think they're fun too. So, yeah. And it's very shiny. Like, do you see the shine to it? Shine. But it's cool. But what's everyone's day looking like today? It is Saturday. I didn't go outside this morning, but it looks like it might be a warm day. Obviously not sunny because it looks a little cloudy outside. It looks gray, but the sun could still be out, but it could just still be gray in New York. I've noticed that happens as well. Okay, you're going to go to the Saturday market. Okay, have fun, have fun. I do know anytime you go to the Saturday market, you always say they have a whole bunch of cool snacks. And then in my head, anytime you describe the Saturday market, it looks like farmer's market or flea market. So if you search hard enough, you can find like some hidden gems for sure. But it sounds like a fun day, King of the Weather. You have fun plans today. What about you, Emily? What are you doing today? I would love to know. This morning, I woke up and I made breakfast. I just made some scrambled eggs with turkey sausage for breakfast. Yeah, it's not chicken. It's turkey. It was good. It's okay. And then this is a bowl that my mom got for me from Walmart. I haven't tested it out as of yet. I probably should test it out. But they said it keeps food either really cold or really hot, and it's pretty deep, so this can hold a lot of food. And to make sure that the food stays hot, you just have to fill it up with like boiling hot water and leave it and cover it and leave it for like 15 minutes. And then when you dump out the water, then you put the food in, and it's supposed to keep the stuff nice and cold. So they put the sticker on it. I'm not going to peel it off now. I'll peel it off once I get used to using this. But does anybody have any of these? Would love to know. And make sure, guys, do not microwave it. And that's a tip for anybody, right? If you have like a bowl in your house or a plate and it comes in a container that looks like this, or aluminum foil container, do not put that in a microwave, because that is very dangerous. My mom said you can start a fire like that. I don't know how true it is, because obviously I've never done it, but don't do it to experiment and try it out. More of the story, don't do that. King of the Weather said, okay, we have a new message. Okay, I'm back. We have a new message for Tropical Storm. Okay, Lala Tropical Storm. Lala is starting in Hawaii with 100 miles per hour. Wind gusts. Okay, well, hopefully everybody in Hawaii is going to stay safe, right? 100 miles per hour, you don't go outside, you're going to get blown away like Dorothy. So, yeah, that's all they have to do. Just stay inside. And they'll be good. Hey, Emily, you're going to go out to the movie? Sounds very fun, Emily. What movie are you planning on seeing? I'm going to be going to the movies as well. I'm going to be seeing Spider-Man. I think it's Brand New Day or No Way Home. I always get it mixed up with the names of it, but that's the movie that I will be seeing. What about you? Hey, Margaret, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Wait, no, Margot? Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Your dress is your gorge. Oh, you're saying it's gorgeous. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hey, Jane. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Hey, Mia. I'm CJ. I came to your channel earlier. Hey, girly. Hey, CJ. Welcome back. Welcome back. Always a pleasure when you're on. What's your Saturday itinerary looking like? What are you planning on doing today? Oh, you're watching TV. What show are you watching, King of the Weather? Hey, glad you could be here, Jay. How's everything going with you? Hey, John. Girl, I'm literally so gay right now. I can't stop thinking about what? I have no idea what that means, but all opinion, people, and ideas are welcome on the Uniquely Mia channel for your positivity and uniqueness, right? As long as you don't bash people for their beliefs or you don't push your beliefs on other people. This is a safe space where you guys are more than welcome. King Weather said it's a paid program. Okay, so like cable TV. All right. But what's the TV show about that you're watching? Is it like more so cartoons? Is it drama, comedy? I know you said you watch a lot of like Spanish TV shows, right? So it could be something like that. As you guys know, I don't really watch TV. If I watch TV, it's more so streaming platforms like Netflix or YouTube. But TV is not really my go-to. Okay, it's a comedy. Well, comedy's good. I like comedy movies. One of the best comedy movies that I'll recommend. It's a handful, but I like Trading Places. That's funny to me. People say Coming to America's comedy. I don't think that's a comedy movie, if I'm being honest. But there are definitely some good comedy movies. I'm experimenting with this thing, guys, and there's a button, and I press down the button. Oh, snap. That was dangerous. My nail went in there. Oops. And now it's not coming up, guys. I pressed down the button. Now it's not coming back up. I don't know. Hey, Drake. Glad you could be here. How's your day going today? Mia has bad taste in movies. I think it's just opinions, right? So, like you don't like the movies that I like, and that's okay, right? That's 100% okay, because, like, sometimes, like, Queen Mother, when my mom has to choose a movie, she's banned from choosing movies. Like, younger Uniquely Mia banned her from choosing movies, whether that's choosing movies at home or when we go to the theater. She can't choose a movie, because anytime my mom chooses a movie, it's terrible for some reason, right? When I was a kid, if we were watching a movie at home, it was always some type of drama or romance movie she would choose. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. You're banned. And then when we were in Guyana, she actually did choose the movie for the movie theater, the movies for us to see in the movie theater. You know, we walked out the theater. She chose to see Scary Movie, I think. We walked out the theater because the movie was boring. It was dumb, right? It made no sense. So Queen Mother is banned from choosing movies. So, yeah, not everybody has the best taste in movies, or not everybody will agree. Hey, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. It's Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia, and you guys are welcome on the channel for your positivity and uniqueness. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. I would love to know, what did you guys do today? If you just woke up, obviously your morning just started. However, I do have supporters tuning in from all over the world, which is pretty cool. So some supporters are tuning in, and it's already afternoon, right? Or nighttime where y'all are at. So how was your day, or what are your plans if it's morning time for you guys? Okay, he wants was good, Jay. Okay, cool. Always bad at her for something, but she's not good at choosing movies at all. But yeah, that is true. So it's like, I don't ban her. Like, she can still take the initiative and choose a movie. I'm like, okay, if she does that, I'm just gonna see a different movie, right? I'll make sure the movie that she chooses, it's showing another movie that I want to see around the same time. But it's just evidence. Queen Mother, there's something called evidence-based research, right? When you look at just research studies, and that means it's supported by evidence, or like it has prior research studies to support it. So Queen Mother has evidence-based research, right, with choosing bad movies. So that's why she's not allowed to choose anything anymore. Jake said, I can't complain. How are you, King Mother? Okay, cool. King Weather said, one time in 2023, I got a ticket for a movie. I forgot what movie. Oh, wow. That's cool. Nice. All I know is you bought a blanket to the theater. Okay, that's smart, actually, because sometimes it's really cold. I will say, personally, for me, the theaters that I've gone to in America, they haven't been that cold, in my opinion, where I needed a blanket when I went to the theaters. But when I was in Guyana, I always had to make sure I walked with a blanket in the movie theater in Guyana, right? Like, so, like, if I walk with a blanket to a movie theater here in America, It'll just be to, like, I guess, get comfy, because AMC theaters, they oftentimes have the recliner seats. So it's like, oh, that's cool. But it's never, like, freezing in my experience in the movie theater. Unless you go to the theater in shorts and, like, a tank top. Then you'll be freezing. But, like, if you dress normally, it's not that cold in my opinion. But Guyana, it'd be freezing. It's like, it's so hot in the country of South America. I guess people pay the movie theater price for the ticket to see the movie, but to also get the AC. So that's why they turn it on high, because it's so cold. Hey, Aubrey, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. What's your morning looking like? Okay, so movie theater's cool. Hey, how are you doing today? Truth Teller, glad you could be here. Sent $100 via super chat. I really appreciate the thought. Thank you so much for the thought, Truth Teller. Bros, it's me. Super chat. They're manifesting King of the Weather, right? So that's okay, because perhaps one day they'll hop on stream and they'll actually send the $100 super chat. So it's a form of manifestation. Remember what Uniquely Mia says? Manifestation occurs in multiple ways. First you say it, then you write it down, and then you engage in behavior for your goals to become true, right? So it's okay, King of Weather. They're manifesting for sure. Jake said, I'm still here, but I'm about to listen to you on my speaker while I'm in the shower. Okay. That sounds weird. Yeah, Drake, you have to tell us all that, but I appreciate you watching the Uniquely Mia live stream like a TV show in the background, though, right? Hey, Yamha, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Good morning to you, Yamha. Always a pleasure when you're on. What are you doing today? Thank you. Glad you like the dress. Really appreciate it. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but remember, guys, always be respectful, right? You guys can disagree, right? But, like, let's not do a necessary name call or etc., anything like that. Alrighty. Drake said, well, Mia, I listen to podcasts in the shower. I have to listen to something while I'm there. Well, yeah, like I said, so you guys are listening to the Uniquely Mia channel, like a podcast for sure, right? So that's pretty cool, because individuals have taken Uniquely Mia. Let's go feed. Discount. Bianca's texting stuff for my student discount, guys. I don't know what she sent, but she wants to use my student discount. I was looking. I found like a website where you can use up your student discount. Like, I was never a person to use my student discount, right? But I know Amazon Prime, you could get it for like what, $5 or $10 a month, and I heard that's cheaper. But I'm not subscribing to a monthly subscription to do that. So people said that's cheaper with it. They had movie tickets. They said you get movie tickets for $10 with it, but it's only for the states that excludes it is New York, California, and some other state. So that won't work. And then other websites you can get like, I don't know, 50% off or 10% off stuff when you shop to places. I know Apple, if you buy an Apple device, that was the first time when I got my iPad, I actually used my student discount, and that worked out pretty well. They gave a pretty good discount for the student discount with Apple devices. So if anybody needs to buy an Apple device, make sure you know a student and use their student discount if they'll let you guys, because the price I paid for my iPad was like, when I got it, I paid the marketed price, the price that was marketed, right? Because my student discount. But they did a price increase anyway, so stuff is more expensive now with Apple. But yeah, like I said, shout out to you guys who listen to the Uniquely Mia live stream as a podcast, right? Whether you guys are driving, exercising, whether you guys are at work. It's pretty cool. Yamha said, you were looking extremely beautiful in your white dress. What white dress? In one of like my outfit videos? Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. King Weather said, I listen to music in the shower. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I know some people do that for sure. Very cool. But welcome everybody to the live stream. It's Uniquely Mia here, also known as Mia. Special shout out if you guys are a returning supporter. I appreciate your continued support. If you are a new viewer here, as I said, I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Professional Writing, Master's degrees in Public Administration and Criminal Justice, and you guys are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. I have videos from education, travel, hair, nails, fashion, shopping, unboxing, food reviews, customer service reviews, and a lot more on this channel. And I live stream Mondays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. that live streaming day will change for Monday. It's going to be removed very soon. And on Saturday and Sundays, I just do spontaneous live streams for you guys. Stay tuned. Today, I plan to film a video on information on how you guys can enter into the giveaway video, right? For the giveaway, you guys can win a bracelet like this from Guyana, this one right here. You'll also have the opportunity to win a Guyana keychain and a painting. I don't have it now. And I'm going to tell you the parameters to enter into the giveaway. I'm going to be asking 3 questions. 3 questions, since there are 3 giveaway items. And the first person to answer, right, the question correctly, right, you choose whatever question you want to answer. The first person who answers that question correctly and fully will win the giveaway. And it's only for domestic. So, like, there's going to be 3 questions. You don't have to answer all 3 questions. You don't have to answer all 3 questions. You can choose one. Even if you see that somebody already put the answer in the chat, if you think you have a better answer, put the answer in the chat, right? Because the person may not have answered the question fully, right? So, yeah. And if I see that, hey, okay, 2 people put the correct answer, right? Then that's when I'll put your names into like a random spinner, and I'll just let the computer randomly choose it. And you guys may be wondering, Mia, where are the questions coming from? And where can I find the answers? In my full nutritional YouTube videos. Yeah, so it's not going to be anything from the live stream. Is going to be from my full nutritional YouTube videos. So if you guys are a supporter of Unique Lamia and you want a chance of winning the giveaway, make sure you guys are up to date on my European playlist videos, my Guyana playlist videos, my American playlist videos, right? Because all the information comes from those videos. And it's only information from 2026, so that should narrow down what videos you guys should watch if you want a chance of winning. So yeah. But stay tuned. I'm going to film the video today, and I'm going to edit today, and I'm trying to get out to you guys today as well. Hey, Cherry, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. You're just chilling, King of the Weather? Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, I did remember you said that you are going to be going to Sunday Market today, so which is really cool. King of the Weather said I've already won a giveaway, so I don't need anything. Okay, cool. Well, that's the thing about giveaways. You don't need it, right? But you may want the items, so you can still enter. Because I know Gigi Cat said the same thing. She's like, Mia, I already won a lot of giveaways. I'm not entering into this one. Right? So if you guys want to do that, you can go ahead and do that, right? But like, if you see nobody's answering the questions, right, or there's no comments, or if you think the answers people are putting is incorrect, you can go ahead and put the correct answer and have a chance of winning, right? So, yeah. Never exclude yourself from spaces or to things because you think you already got enough, right? Don't put that barrier. Let the person who's choosing put that barrier up if they want to do that, right? You're freezing? Well, that's good because it's summertime. That means your AC is working pretty good, King of the Weather. So you're going to need to get like a blanket. Wrap up with a blanket. Hey, how are you doing today, Raul? Glad you could be here. What are the certificates behind me? This is my master's degree in public administration, my master's of science in criminal justice. This is a painting, retelling of the Last Supper. I have to get another frame for my diploma, but it's right over here, my diploma. I didn't know it was back there, bro. I have 2 copies of my diploma. And this is a copy of my diploma, Bachelor of Science in Psychology and Professional Writing. Bye-bye, Cherry. Pleasure having you on. Hope I see you in the next live stream or the comment section of my full nutritional YouTube video or YouTube shorts. Hey, how are you doing today, Bamel? Glad you could be here. I'm doing good, Bamel. How's your day going today? King of the Weather said, I'm going to get some rain in summer. And that's okay, King of the Weather, right? I think, like, I understand the crying emoji because when I was younger, I despised the rain. I always saw the rain as saying, oh, no, you're ruining the day, rain. Like, I can't go outside anymore. It's not fun when it rains. But now I have a new appreciation for rain, right? I think that new appreciation mostly stemmed from me being on vacations, and it would always rain on vacations. But my mom was like, no, we are still going out, even though it's raining, because she spent money to go on this vacation. So that changed my idea of rain to not saying, oh, it's disrupting anything. Yes, it makes it more difficult to move around when it's raining because you got to make sure you walk with an umbrella. You got to make sure you dress appropriate, right? You don't want to wear light colored clothes in case, like, your clothes get wet. That's not going to be good. But rain is good, right? It, like, cleans the earth. there are countries that experiences droughts and they don't have rain, and when they see rain they are so happy for it because that's where they get water, right? So I have a new appreciation from rain, right? Like when it rains in my like I still a little bit annoyed, a little bit sometimes, but I don't see it as a bad, right? I don't see it as a negative anymore. And it can definitely cool down the place to rain, but we have to be careful in the summertime. It can also make it a little more humid as well. King Leather said one time I was at the Saturday market and it was raining so hard. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It can be annoying, right? Because it'll disrupt like what your activities. It can make things a little bit more messy, the rain, but at the same time, it's not too bad. Just make sure you're walking with a good umbrella. King of the Weather, you need a really good umbrella, like preferably a big one. When I was in the Peach State, I had a clear umbrella that's pretty big. I finally saw it, so I finally was able to bring it back to New York. So like anytime it rains, that's my umbrella. And I'm happy that I have a very distinct umbrella because I'm somewhat possessive of my stuff. So that's why when I buy stuff and I bring it into the house, I want it to be very different, right? Because sometimes I'll get an umbrella and then my umbrella goes missing. And then when I find my umbrella, Queen Mother's like, that's not your umbrella. I'm like, yes, it is. I'm the one who bought it here, right? So, like, when I buy and have distinctive stuff, I'm like, okay, you can't tell me this is not mine. That's why with my phone in particular, I'm really happy with my new phone, right? Because obviously it's a great phone. But at the same time, I have a USB-C. I'm the only person in this house with a USB-C port. Nobody can steal my cubes anymore. Nobody can steal my extension, my extension cords to charge my phone anymore. When we all had USB, all my stuff would go missing. And I would find it, and Queen Mother's like, that's not yours. She'd like, it's hers. Or she'd be like, that's Stu's. I'm like, no, it's not. It's mine. But nobody would believe me. So I like stuff that's different. So I guess I am a little bit possessive of my stuff because I don't like people take my stuff, man. Like, no. You love my hair. Thank you so much, Benel. Really appreciate it. Queen Mother has to flat iron it for me. She'll probably do it on Monday. I don't know. But she has to flat iron it. So when I was blow drying it, I tried to blow dry it as straight as possible. And I think I did a pretty good job. And you guys like Mia, this is not straight. It's still poofy, but it's straight poofiness, right? I can run my fingers through it. As you guys see I'm doing, it doesn't hurt. There's no tangles. That's because I worked in small sections. Normally when I blow dry my hair, I can't do this because there will be knots. So I did a pretty good job blow drying it. I'm happy with it. So yeah, and my hair, like, it's not black, is it? Yeah, it's not black. It's like a very dark brown. Or maybe if my hair is black, it's just not jet black. Because this is black, and this is my hair color. It's a very dark brown, I think. Rose said, here we get, okay, droughts in the western states and floods in the east. Yeah, I've heard that some states in the United States still experience droughts and stuff. So, yeah. Hey, gangsta, how are you doing today? Is mom being nice today? I mean, I just saw her when I made breakfast this morning, and I just gave her the breakfast. So, yeah, she was pretty nice. So, yeah. King of the Weather said, so on June 28th, 2021, Oregon hit its hottest temperature, okay, in the Northwest. Oregon hit 117 Fahrenheit. That's really hot. Just the day before, on the 27th, it was 113 degrees, okay, and 5 years ago, Oregon hit the hottest temperature. Wowzers, okay. Queen Mother is not here to tell, so I can't tell you guys that I can't tell her that you guys said hi to her. So yeah, Raul said my charger uses C to C cable, so the USB-C. Okay, cool. Hey Aubrey, yeah, rain changes body chemistry. That's interesting. How does that do that, Aubrey? I've never heard about that theory. Like the human body, you mean? How does rain change the human body chemistry? Good morning, Easy24K. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. You're not from the U.S. Okay, you are still more than welcome for your positivity and uniqueness, Raul. That's the great thing about the Uniquely Mia channel. We have a lot of supporters tuning in from different countries in the world, which is pretty cool. I have supporters from America, from India. I've heard from the UK. I think I have 2 supporters from Korea, which is pretty cool. They're not on often because the time zone in Korea is like crazy. Like, they're already into tomorrow, right? But occasionally they'll pop on from Korea, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a great thing about the Uniquely Mia channel. We have supporters from all over the world tuning in, and we get to gain that cross-cultural knowledge about what's it like in your country, which is pretty cool. You're beautiful as well, Gangsta. Really appreciate your kind words. That's good. We love her nice side. Moms, that is. Okay, cool. Yeah, 117 degrees Fahrenheit in Oregon. You're almost melting. I can understand that. That's like justification for a heat wave. So you can't really go outside. You should not be going outside when it's that hot outside. And if you do go outside, you need to be hydrated. Like, hydration is key. Once you finish one bottle of water, immediately open another bottle of water and start sipping on it. Okay. North or South Korea? Obviously South Korea. Nobody from North Korea, I don't think, except the government, would have internet to, like, access to, like, American apps from North Korea unless they escape to South Korea. So, yeah. When do you start classes? Aren't you a junior this year? No, Easy, I'm not a junior. I graduated undergrad and I have master's degrees. So I'm done with undergrad. I'm done with graduate school. So I'm starting a PhD program. I'm not telling you guys when I start classes, but I start classes soon. So yeah. You guys thought I was a junior? That's so funny to me. I mean, I guess I look young, so yeah, I guess people would. And I guess my age, I guess I could be a junior at my age. So, yeah. But no, I'm done with college. I'm never going back to college. King Leather said, rain is good. I'm never going back to college as a student. Yeah. Hey, Izzy. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. I'm doing good, Izzy. Thank you so much for asking. We're just having a chat session. Gangsta said... Right, they can't even watch movies in North Korea. And fun fact about Uniquely Mia, my junior year was actually my junior and my senior year. So, like, I started the spring semester as a junior, right? Yeah, I started the spring semester as a junior, and then I ended the fall semester as a senior, and I graduated. So, technically, I didn't have, like, a full 2 semesters as a senior. I took summer classes, which helped me graduate earlier, right? So you tried to always take summer classes to be ahead, not because I was behind. So that's a fun fact about Uniquely Mia's junior year. Technically, my junior and senior year were merged together when I was an undergrad. The spring semester, January through May, I was a junior. And then from like May to the end of July when I was in my summer classes, I was between a junior and a senior because I was taking classes to become a senior. And then when I started school in August to December, I was a senior, and I just graduated in August to December. Gangsta said, right, they can't even watch movies in North Korea, even play dogs illegal because it was too westernized. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because I do know some people have visited North Korea. And they've, like, come back to the U.S. or they've gone back to Europe and they've made videos about it. So it's like, when I see those videos, I'm like, wow, that's interesting. But at the same time, you're like, is that a form of propaganda? Like, do you think they're working for the North Korean government? Or do you think, even if they're not working for the North Korean government, they just had to, like, they don't want anything happen to them? Because obviously, because there's the conspiracy theories that are out there. You hear it from people who have escaped North Korea. They often say, allegedly, they often say, even though they're no longer living in North Korea, they have to be very careful about what they say about their country, and they have to be very careful where they live because they still have, like, North Korean soldiers who live outside of North Korea, and they could, like, bring them back to North Korea if they really wanted to, right? Or they could hurt them if they really wanted to. It's like plants, like spies, you know, like Russian spies, how, like, the conspiracy theory is saying, oh, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, Russia would send babies to America, right? And they would they would raise them as American, but they would truly be like Russian spies. It's kind of like that, but in North Korea. So yeah, it's very interesting, but like I always said, the media is propaganda, so like nobody really knows what's happening in North Korea except the North Koreans and people who are there. So, yeah. Okay, read that. Why you're not allowed to have the Bible in North Korea? Well, yeah, that's okay. I mean, like, that's okay. That's understandable to me because, like I said, religion, maybe they're just not Christians. Like, what is their religion? What's their religious belief? So I understand not having the Bible. That's not, like, that baffling to me, right? Because Christianity is not the whole world's religion, right? Christianity is just like a Western idea religion. So, yeah, they probably have their own religion, their own religious belief. So I'm not going to judge them for that one. King Weather said, I'm actually freezing. At least my air conditioner is working. Yeah. I'm not telling you guys which university I'm obtaining my PhD program from, right? And if you guys ever figure it out, don't air it on social media. I would hope, as my supporters, you want to air that information out on social media. And 2, you wouldn't show up at my school, right? But I'm not telling you guys which university I am obtaining my PhD from, just for safety reasons, right? Everybody, you guys don't need to know that. You'll know it when I finish, right? So, yeah. And like, as I said, right, I share a lot with you guys on social media. So that's why I said, if you guys do figure out where I attend school, don't air it on social media, because if you do air that on social media, that's where I would have to become a lot more restrictive and secretive about information that I do share with you guys. So at this current moment of time on the Unique Lamia channel, I'm pretty open with sharing information with you guys, answering your questions, but if my privacy is ever violated, right, and I ever start to feel unsafe, that's where the content and the information I share with you guys would become a lot more restrictive. So, yeah. Gangsta said, well, that's amazing. I hope you do extremely well when your classes start. Thank you so much for your kind words, Gangsta. That is the plan, right? So, you got to manifest. You got to work hard. So, yeah, for sure, for sure. Aubrey said, put you in the mood. What do you mean, Aubrey? Gangsta said, I didn't mean to say play dogs. I meant to say they cannot. Oh, they can't own dogs, like real dogs. Okay, anymore in North Korea. Okay, wow, that's interesting. It's like when my mom and I were in the Peach State, we literally passed a toy store, and Queen Mother was like, that's a real dog. I was like, no, it sounds like it's toys, but they put it in cages. I think I made a video of it. I have to edit that video. I'm behind. We went to Buc-ee's gas station in Alabama. That was pretty cool, going to Buc-ee's in Alabama. Right? That was like the biggest gas station ever. Don't worry, I did record videos for you guys. I just have to edit it. And there's actually a Buc-ee's in Virginia. I didn't know. I thought Buc-ee's was only like in southern states, but they had one in Virginia when we were driving through. But Virginia's kind of like a southern state. It's like in between a southern and a northern state. I've noticed with Virginia, it's kind of weird. Easy said, LOL, my apologies. No need to apologize, and congratulations on your accomplishment success. Thank you so much for your kind words. And if you guys would like to see what Unique Lamia, my experience in grad school and undergrad was like, and my graduation videos from undergrad and graduate school, go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my college/grad school playlist videos, and the videos are all there. Hey, 1211, you don't see videos from inside North Korea? Well, yeah, you see some of them, because sometimes the North Korean government will allow, like, U.S. drones or U.S. reporters to come into the country. So it's like, so my understanding of North Korea could be incorrect, but based on watching news articles and just other YouTubers and TikTokers who have gone to North Korea, and to, like, CNN and, like, ABC News, like, you can go to North Korea as an American. You can visit, right? But you need permission. And if you visit, they'll let you in, but there's no guarantee they're gonna let you out as an American, right? So that's the idea behind visiting a country like North Korea. So when reporters go into North Korea, it's like they get permission, and like they get permission on when they can go, when they can leave, what they can record, how they can move, right? So I remember I was watching, I forgot, I think it was CNN, he posted the article, but they said North Korea built like a resort. They built like a big old water slide, and then they had like the fancy apartments. It was empty. Like when you look at the videos that the news posted, the streets of North Korea are empty. The water park was completely empty, right? So yeah, and like the news is heavily censored. The videos, it's heavily censored. They edit out a lot of information. So that's what I'm saying. It provides you an insight, but at the same time, you really don't know what's true 100% based on what I've seen. 1211 said China has police programs all over the world also. Wow, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I feel like every country, so you're talking about this aspect of spies. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting to say that, but like, at the same time, that's why, speaking from the perspective of an American, that's why us as Americans, we're able, at least myself as an American, I'm able to travel to a lot of countries without a visa, right? I'm able to go to a lot of places and feel relatively safe. But there are some countries that America puts bans on for us as Americans to travel. Like Afghanistan, if you can go there, but like America's telling you not to go there, right? America's telling us not to go there, right? Cuba, I believe, you can go there, but us as Americans, America's telling us not to go there. And there's other countries like that. And the main reason is because there's not really a U.S. embassy there, right? There's not a U.S. embassy. And any place you go that does not have an embassy, you're not going to be safe. Right, like I've never had to use the U.S. embassy, but the general idea of a U.S. embassy is saying, okay, if you're abroad and you lose your passport, you can go to the U.S. embassy and get that. If something is happening in the country and it's very dangerous to go to the airport and you can't get an airline ticket from the airport, you go to the American embassy and they can bring you home, right? If you are like, if you get really, really sick, or if you feel very unsafe in that country, you go to the American embassy and you can stay there and you can be safe until you go home, right? So that's the general idea of the U.S. embassy. So even in America, other countries have their embassy here in America, right? Mexico has a U.S. embassy here, India has a U.S. embassy here, Ghana, like all the countries has one, right? So if you are visiting somewhere and they're not allowing you to have a U.S. embassy, or that U.S. embassy got overrun, or they just don't have it anymore, as an American, you shouldn't visit there, because like who has your back if something goes wrong? Nobody, right? So yeah, so I can see how China has police programs all over the world, right? So China has a U.S. embassy in America and other places in the world. Now, when it comes to spies, obviously being a spy is illegal, right? So allegedly, I guess all countries have spies planted in different countries, right? But like you really don't know. So yeah. Gangsta said, well, there's a woman who did an interview on Good Morning America. Oh, about the North Korea. Oh wow, that's interesting. I have to look at that. And they have family that is still there. Oh yeah, that happens a lot. That's why they're very careful things they say. Yep, exactly. We're just having a chat session, Bamel. We're talking about North Korea and just like spies and education. Like I'm reading the comments, and as I read different comments, different responses are warranted. So like my responses are jumping. But yeah, if you want to start a conversation about something completely different, type it in the chat, or if you want to ask me a question or share your opinion on whatever we're talking about, feel free to do that. Gangsta said, very interesting. Okay, there was even a Russian married couple. Yeah, that was arrested in Hawaii. I think I saw that one. No, it was Mexico. No, it was in Mexico. They were in Mexico. I didn't see the Hawaii one. You live in 2020 or 2021. Has spent time in our military and retired. Were Russian spies, both of them. Yeah, so it's like they become American at a certain point, but like they still have that nationalism to their country, right? As I always say, it's not a specific example, but an example I always use, especially when I'm talking about like African rights for African American. I always tell you guys that if you look at any other racial group in America or ethnic group in America, particularly Caucasian individuals, when it is warranted, they can band together and accomplish a common goal. We can take that analogy and we can apply it to these people who are quote unquote Russian spies. Because like if they are truly brought to America as a baby, right, they're raised, they go to American schools, they get American jobs, they make American friends, they don't even have a Russian accent, right? They become American, right? You would think that indoctrination into American culture would make them want to leave their not spy in America, right? But no, when they're called to be a Russian spy, if that is true, they'll actually complete the task that they're set out to complete, because that is that nationalism that they have, right? That ingrained quality in them, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a Russian spy. I don't look Russian. I don't speak Russian. But then that's you can't say that, bro. Like that's the point of it. U.S. government. I am not a Russian spy. U.S. government who's watching this FBI agent. I will actually work for you at the FBI, right? So yeah, but like. That's what they do, essentially, allegedly. I don't know. I'm just speaking on random thoughts from based on what I've seen on movies, if I'm being honest. That's where all my knowledge comes from. My mom loves a movie. What's the name of the movie that she loves? Salt, like Evelyn Salt. Queen Mother loves that movie. That's by far her favorite movie. I think the Angelina Jolie is the star of it. And essentially in Salt, Evelyn Salt is a Russian spy, right? She was brought to America when she was a little kid, and she grew up as American. She actually worked for the CIA in the movie. And essentially, in the movie, it's kind of weird because, like, Russia didn't really tell her what to do, but, like, her behavior did act into accordance to what they actually wanted her to do. It's very interesting, right? So watch that movie, right? But that's where most of my knowledge comes from. Like, I didn't do academic research on this. We're just sharing opinions to make conversation, but that's the general idea of it. So, yeah. Raul said, okay, all the Abrahamic religions originated from the Middle East / extreme Southeastern Europe. Okay. Okay, cool. Hey Joshua, how are you doing today? The firstborn son of Abraham was half Egyptian, like his mother Hagar. Okay. The canon all. Islam was never children of Abraham. That's not true. Because they're cousins. They're cousins. That's why they're all called the Abrahamic religion. So I don't know which son, but I remember when my mom was teaching me the story of it and when she showed me the documentary, Abraham had a son. I think it was the son he sent away because Sarah, his wife, couldn't have kids, and then Sarah gave her servant. Like, what do you mean you gave the woman to him? Like, patriarchal, if that's not a red flag, right? But anyway, Sarah took her servant, who was a female, and told Abraham, yeah, you can have a kid with her. I won't be upset. And then Abraham had a kid with Sarah's servant. And then when Sarah finally had a child, Sarah was like, I don't want this child around me anymore. I already had your son. Send out the bastard. That's essentially what Sarah said. But she didn't call him a bastard, but that's what the kid was, right? Not being mean, but like that's what, back in those days, that's what they called them, right? So like, and that son is supposed to be like the founder, or like not the founder, but like that son is who the Islamic individuals, I believe, look to and how they trace their blood to Abraham, right? And then Abraham had another son, and the people who practice Judaism, they trace their blood to Abraham via that way. And then Christianity, Abraham had another son, and the people who practice Christianity, they trace Abraham, they trace their bloodline to Abraham via that son. So that's how it works. Yeah. So that's why it's all called the Abrahamic religions, because they're all blood tied, they're all related. Abrahamic religions, they all trace their lineage to Abraham. It's kind of like, what is it? Israel, right? Is it Israel? Yeah, that's the country. Yeah, the Holy Land. Yeah, when I was learning about Israel, not before the war, obviously, I learned about when I was a kid, they called it the Holy Land. That's why all three religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they all have temples in Israel. That's why they all have temples in that place, because they all say that is their land. They all say that is where their religion originated from, right? And that's why that's why they have always fought over that land historically. In modern day, that is why they fight over the land, modern day, even though they don't tell you that. It all relates back to the Bible a little bit, guys. So yeah. Drake said, okay, so Abraham had 2 sons. Okay, well, yeah. Well, somebody traces it to Abraham some way if he only had 2 sons then, guys. Yeah, because it's all called the Abrahamic religion, so they're all related to him. Drake said, so that means I'm a real supporter because I could have leaked Mia's old university a long time ago. Well, shout out to you, Drake. I know Gigi Cat said she also figured out my university as well, and she never told anybody the name of it. So shout out to Drake and Gigi Cat and any other Uniquely Mia supporters who figured out the name of my university, because it's just safety reasons, right? And I do understand some people share their university name. They're like, oh, I went to Harvard, or like, oh, I go to Penn State, or like, I go to Georgia State. I do know there's people on social media who do that when they make their videos, but I'm just not comfortable doing that, right? I'm like, yeah, so yeah. Jake said, okay, read that one. Do you have them in Mali as well? Have what in Mali? Hey, Lucky, how are you doing today, Lucky Chloe? 2030 is a new time to be famous. In 2030? How old will I be in 2030? I don't know. I don't want to think about it. The other day I was watching a video and I was like, it said the year 2300. And I was like, let me see how old I'll be in the year 2300. 200 years old, I'm not going to be here unless I figure out the secret to vampirism. But like, I was like, let's not guess my ages in these futuristic years anymore. Let's not do the calculations. Because that's depressing. Let's not do that. Okay. Read that. What's my favorite number alphabetically? What? Like, what's my favorite number? Like in order? Okay, like number 6 then. I like number 6. What's yours? Gangsta said Buc-ee's donated $1 million to ICE. I can no longer support. I did not know that, actually. That's what I'm saying. In America, you try so hard to like, I don't know, support businesses that have good, positive, ethical morals and like are not bashing certain people, but it's like you can't really do it in America. Like, it's very difficult. I didn't know that, right? That's interesting. But yeah. King of the Leather said, the best way I could describe my YSL cologne is like a green apple body wash. Okay. Okay, cool. Gangsta said, yeah, my sister was stuck in Mexico when they had the assassination of the cartel leader. Oh, yeah, I saw that video on TikTok. It looks so scary. People were at the airport, and people were like, they had to run out of the airport. And the cartel started to take over the airport. Wow. Is your sister okay now? Gangsta, my sister was stuck with work. Oh, with her work friends for 2 days. Okay, but they made it home. Glad they made it home safely. Gang said, well, China also had hidden police embassy in New York, in the middle of New York. It was hidden from New York? Now that's a little interesting and very illegal. That's what I'm saying, right? So the government should be aware of, like, places that are here, but like that's very interesting. Yep, Aubrey, for sure. I'm a traveler. Hey, GT8, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. King of the One that said their mom is awake at 6 a.m. Queen Mother, she'd be awake at like 3 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing up late? Like, go to sleep. It's like, I don't like when she's awake so early, because like she's awake so early, and then when I want to lie down for like an extra 30 minutes, even though I'll be awake, I'm like, I always have to jump out and show her that I'm awake in my head, because I'm like, oh, she's gonna think I'm lazy now, or she's gonna think I'm sleeping in. Like, what is happening? Why do mothers stay up so late? I mean, it's not late, but mothers, at least my mom, she stays up ridiculously late, right? I'll be over to the restroom at like 10 p.m., right? And she's still awake. I'm like, go to sleep, woman. Like, what are you doing awake? And then she'll wake up like 3 a.m. and I'm like, you're not tired. And then she'll go outside and it's like she's falling asleep. I'm like, go to sleep. What are you outside acting tired now for? Right? And she's like, I can't sleep. I'm like, then take some insomnia pills, you can't sleep. Or like, take a gummy bear that's gonna make you sleep. She's like, no, I don't want that. Like, lack of sleep leads to weight gain, memory loss, and being very annoying. So I think she needs more sleep sometimes, because she repeats herself a lot, guys. And like it leads to bad memories too sometimes. Like sometimes Queen Mother be forgetting stuff, or she'll like say the same stuff over and over again. And I look at her, I'm like, Mom, I just said that. I'm like, I just said that. Or like I'll tell her the answer to something, right? And then she'll ask the question again and I just stare at her. And she's like, what? I'm like nothing. So yeah, she needs to get more sleep. So yeah, I don't know. We all need to just give our parents, like, I don't know. I heard Lemmy sleep gummies are good. I forgot to get them when I was in the Peach State at Walmart. That was the best time to get it. But I think I'm going to get some for my mom and, like, give it to her one night. Even if she doesn't want it. Because she'd be, like, awake so much. I'm like, go to sleep. No, my mom did not work for the CIA. If she worked for the CIA, you think I would be, like, that's one thing that's sad about social media. I don't think they would ever hire me at the CIA anymore, right? Like, I'm like, because, like, they don't want people who has a digital footprint. So I'm like, did I ruin my chances of working for the CIA? If Queen Mother worked at the CIA, guys, like, you know how much connections I would have or she would have? That's nepotism at its finest, bro. Like, at its finest, right? Like, so, like, y'all would never know uniquely me or Queen Mother if my mom worked at the CIA, because I would be reaping the benefits of nepotism, for real, that'd be so cool, right? Obviously the CIA is not cool. It's serious business. It's serious business, right? I just have the TV version of what it's like to work at the CIA, right? But it's serious business. But I would have done it. I could do it for sure. But I don't think they would hire me. Too much people know my face now. I have a digital footprint. They'll have to give me extreme plastic surgery to change my appearance, so I'm not doing that. Or they want to keep me in a back office. I don't want to stay in the back. I don't know. Hey, college, how you doing today? Glad you could be here. Okay, yeah, Abraham had 2 sons, so they still, so maybe it's one of his cousins or whatever, but they still, it's the Abrahamic religion. They still trace the bloodline to him, like I said. Okay. No, it's not Israel, it's Jerusalem, sorry. Is Jerusalem in Israel? It's Jerusalem that has the 3, that has the, that all 3 religions call the Holy Land, not Israel, Jerusalem. But isn't Jerusalem in Israel? I don't know. Drake said, I only know it because I'm from the Midwest. I knew the area. I immediately knew it was in Missouri. Okay, cool. Gangsta said, oh, my school. Oh, okay. Gangsta said, so mad I lost connection when you were talking about Sarah sending the kid away. Oh, yeah. Why are we changing the subject, college? I'm responding to the comments. So like each supporter is like asking something different. So like I'm just going with the flow of things. Hey Grave, how are you doing today? It's Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. Pleasure having you on. It's been a while since you've been here. I'm doing good. You love my nails? Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. 1817. Thank you so much. You're in Minnesota. What's it like in Minnesota? Okay, you said you only sleep when you take some ash something and then or sea moss. Like, what is sea moss actually? Is it like a tea? What, like, no, like I think I've seen it, but it looks like a paste. But still, what is it? Is it like seaweed a little bit? Bye, King the Weather. Pleasure having you on. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this Saturday market. Hopefully I see you in the next live stream or the comment section of my fully nutritional YouTube video or YouTube short. Now, Jerusalem is controlled by, and it is controlled and administrated by Israel. Okay, so yeah. Okay, you mean administrated. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so it's Jerusalem. That's the Holy Land. So yeah, what I said, I'm still confident in what I said. Right, saying, oh, that's like where all three religions trace their origin and etc., which is why historically a whole bunch of stuff has happened. So yeah, it's always over land. Any war is always over land if you actually think about it. So that's why I always say the concept of war is not new, guys. So people want to have power and control and have land, essentially. So it's land. Excuse me. Hey Sammy, how's your recovery going? Please, shout out. Okay, my neck is so broken, and my hair. Okay, well, yeah, shout out to you, Sammy, for your continued recovery. I do know it's always very difficult, but anytime you come on the live stream, it always sounds like you're making strides, right? Even though it's probably moving slow, you feel like it's moving slow. Shout out to you, Sammy. Remember, continue to listen to your doctors, your nurses, get the care that you need. If you don't like something that they say, always get that second or third opinion if you need it. But positive vibes to you, Sammy. Hopefully the video is allowing you to disassociate a little bit, give you some positive dopamine, right? It's a happy drug that emerges in your body. It's naturally occurring, and maybe that'll help you heal too a little bit as well. Okay, it's algae. Alrighty. Gangsta said, it's very rich in, okay, I think, calcium and potassium. Okay. I wouldn't eat that because I'm like, how would it taste? Right? But maybe I can't even get sea moss from her because if I won't eat it, she doesn't want to eat it as well. So I think sea moss is out. But like I said, I've heard reviews on like the gummy bears that make people fall asleep. So people said that's good because like insomnia, I don't think she has insomnia. I think she gets tired. But like, I think what happens to my mom, she'll get tired, but she fights going to sleep. Or what happens is, she'll be sleeping, but it's very noisy in her room, right? And lights be on all the time in her room, right? So, like, that's why other people wake her up, essentially. So, I think that's what happens. So, I think she needs something to, like, knock her out. So, even though there'll be noises or etc., it won't really bother her. As I'm saying, Queen Mother's better than me because I cannot do it. It needs to be dark when I sleep. Like, it needs to be pitch dark. You can't be talking. It needs to be quiet. That's why my mom and I share a room, particularly anytime we're in South America in the past. She always never liked it because she'd be on the phone and I'm like, whisper. I'm like, please get off the phone. It's nighttime. She would want to keep the lights on. I'm like, no, turn off the lights. Like, turn it off. Like, no noise. No noise. All right, so yeah. I don't know how. Shout out to the people who can sleep when it's noisy and like when it's bright and stuff. That was the main source of roommate disagreements for me when I was in RA or just when I had a roommate in college. It was like, make as much noise as you guys want before 9 p.m. and we're good. So yeah. Hey, how are you doing today, 2X? Glad you could be here. Thank you so much. Glad you like my hair. We're going with a long afro. Personally, for me, I could never have like a true afro where everything is just up like this. Like, I guess I could, but I would have to cut my hair. So and it's not even it, but like, you know how you guys see the afros on like social media and it's like, boom, up, or like not even social media, the afros of like the 70s, 60s, 80s, 50s, right? I always loved that afro. I'm like, wow, that looks so cool. is like a perfect round shape, but my hair's too long. Even when it's wet, it's still too long to be in that thing. And even if I were to cut my hair, I think it wouldn't even look like that. But shout out to everyone who's on today's live stream. I really appreciate the support. I would love to know, how's everyone's day going? What are you guys doing? What did you eat for breakfast? As I said this morning, I woke up, I made some scrambled eggs with turkey sausage for breakfast. It was okay, it was good. And then I just decided, let's start the live stream bright and early. So we're starting the live stream. I don't think we're gonna go outside today, but we're going outside tomorrow. We're gonna go to the movies. We're gonna be seeing Spider-Man, which is gonna be pretty cool. I've seen the other Spider-Man movies. Why is it gonna be cool? Because I'm gonna get snacks. I'm gonna get some nachos and cheese. I'm excited for the nachos and cheese. So yeah. Aubrey said, a traveler is a person on a journey. So yeah, I'm definitely a traveler for sure, Aubrey. Like, so whether that's a traveler in terms of me traveling international, but like, you don't do that often. You don't go on a plane like every other day, right? Or every 3 weeks. You don't go on a plane, right? That'd be really cool if you did, but I don't do that, right? At this current moment in time, I don't do that. However, right, you are a traveler through life, right? I definitely am on a I definitely am somebody who's on a journey for sure, right? Whether that journey is just to say, okay, let's get to the journey of next week, or tomorrow the journey is accomplishing a goal or something, right? I feel like, I don't know, it can be very boring sometimes. So like, to make your life a little bit more entertaining, I guess, and to not get bored, and I guess to continually be motivated, you have to, I guess, create different scenarios in your head and look at it as a journey aspect, I guess. What did I cook? I made eggs, scrambled eggs, and turkey sausage for me. And then I did make Queen Mother breakfast before she went bye-bye. And then I made her some scrambled eggs and some toast. No, it's, the nachos at the theater that I go to, Drake, is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, yeah, the Regal nachos and cheese is disgusting. Regal nachos, I don't know, that Regal nachos is so nasty. I'm not even lying to you guys. I don't know what they did to the nachos. It's so disgusting, right? But the nachos at AMC is pretty good. And then I also get popcorn, but I don't get the popcorn. My mom gets the popcorn, but she never eats out her popcorn for some reason. So that's what I get. And then is that your go-to movies? Yeah, that's my go-to at the movies. Only when I'm in Guyana, I do not get nachos and cheese, because they use Doritos, and they use like the flavored Doritos, and I'm like, no. Like, I'm sure it probably tastes okay. I've never had it, but like, I want the corn chips that's like not flavored with anything. Just give me that with the cheese. I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I just always gravitated toward nachos and cheese. I don't remember the first time I tried it. I guess I like chips a lot. Like, I do like chips. I guess you guys notice I like sandwiches, which I do, but I think chips is like a fun snack. Like, it's nice and crunchy. Sometimes it's light when you bite into a chip, right? So like, I do like chips. I guess when I was a kid and I went to the theater and my mom introduced me to nachos and cheese, I was like, wow, this is cool. This is like chips, but it's cheese. And it's a fun snack. And it's very filling, nachos and cheese. I will say that, like, it really fills you up. Like, sometimes, anytime my mom and I go to the theater, like, we don't really eat before we go to the movies. Like, sometimes we intentionally don't eat. Sometimes we unintentionally don't eat. We go very early sometimes, too. But, like, even if we go late to the theaters, we don't eat. But then when you go to the movies, you'll get popcorn, you'll get nachos, and it fills you up. And even when you leave the theater, you think you're hungry to get food, you'd be full. You really don't get food. Yeah. Hey, Clinton, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Always a pleasure when you're on. Drake said, and see, most people would actually prefer the Doritos. Really? Wow, I never knew that. But I'm more like you. I want regular tortilla chips. Yeah, it's good, the tortilla chips. I did not know that most people prefer the Doritos. Wow. Drake said the texture of Doritos is all weird when you try to eat it like nachos. They're too soft. Oh, now that you mention it, I can see it. Even though I've never had it, I eat Doritos independently. I can see it because, like, it's very thin, yeah, and then, like, it breaks very easily. And the cheese is kind of heavy, the sauce of it. I can see that. Wow. But you know what's really good? AMC used to sell it. They don't sell it anymore. Anytime I used to go to AMC theaters, I used to get nachos and cheese, and it used to come with the cheese sauce, but it also came with like the salsa, like the tomato salsa. They took that off the menu. They don't do that anymore for some reason. And remember, when you go to AMC Theaters, guys, you're supposed to get jalapenos. It's supposed to come with jalapenos, but like I guess they don't have it all the time, and sometimes even when they have it, they don't like tell you, but it's free with like your nachos and cheese. The jalapenos are good, guys, especially if it's fresh jalapenos. The perfect bite is the tortilla chips. Dip it in the cheese. Dip it in the cheese. And then you put the jalapeno on top. Of course I get the jalapenos. As long as they have it, Drake, I get the jalapenos. But I recently learned, like, it's supposed to come with nachos and cheese. I always thought it was extra, but then I was at the theater the other day, and I ordered it, and the woman was like, hey, you want you want the jalapenos? And I was like, yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. It looked like she was probably Gen Z too. Like, Gen Z customer service is pretty good, man. They be like telling you the extra stuff. Even millennials sometimes, it depends what age gap they're at. They'll be like, you want this? I'm like, is this included? She's like, yeah, it's included. Go ahead and take it. And sometimes you'll meet some people and you'll order your stuff, and it's like, they just be mean, and like, they don't tell you anything else. They don't tell you could get this or this is included, right? I don't like it. And then it's always perfect when you meet the person, when you go and order the food, and you place your order separately, and they're like, oh, there's a meal combo, right? You can spend less money. You can get a drink included. I'm like, yes, give me that. I'll take that. But not everyone will tell you that when you order stuff from the movie theaters. Hey, how are you doing today, Sean? Glad you could be here. You prefer Mexican queso and salsa? Now that I've never had it. Like, okay, so when I say I had Mexican nachos and cheese, I'm just going to the movie theaters. But I do know if I go to like an authentic Mexican restaurant, it is different. I think my mom, when she went to Texas, she said there was a lot of Mexican people in Texas, so she said she went to a restaurant and she had fresh nachos and cheese, or fresh the nachos and queso, and she said it was really good, right? But I've never had it like from an authentic Mexican restaurant or anything like that. You love my energy. Thank you so much, Steph, for your kind words. If you want more of the energy, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications, and immerse yourself into the world of Uniquely Mia. Jake said technically salsa is supposed to come with it too. Maybe I'm getting old, but nachos always come with salsa when I was a kid. Yeah. Oh, you mean came? Okay. Yeah, but like, I think it's New York too, because even when you go to the Peach State, like, things are cheaper. Like, movie tickets are cheaper in the Peach State, right? I don't know about snacks. I never pay attention to the price of snacks, right? But like, so I think in the Peach State they give you more, because like in New York they're supposed to give you a lot of stuff, but I guess, I don't know, maybe they're really busy at movie theaters in New York, or like maybe they just don't care as much, so they don't give you as much stuff. I don't know, but like, I feel like it's supposed to come still, right? Because there was always the option when you got nachos and cheese. You could either get nachos and cheese, nachos and salsa, or both cheese and salsa. They would charge you a little extra, but like, I would get the cheese and salsa. It used to be good, but now they don't give it to you anymore, which isn't cool. Oh, I don't know. And then popcorn and cheese is a good thing. My mom always eats out my cheese anytime I get it. But like, if you get the popcorn and you dip it in the cheese and you put the jalapeno on it, that's like the perfect bite, guys. It's so good. Very important question. Are you more so of a sweet person with your popcorn, guys, or are you more so savory? So like, do you like caramel popcorn and like, I don't know, chocolate popcorn, or are you more so like the cheese popcorn person, or like the salt popcorn person? I really don't like caramel popcorn. You know, like around Christmas time in America, they'll sell like the aluminum containers that has like the variety pack of the popcorn. It's like, I'll eat maybe 1 or 2 bites of the caramel popcorn and like the dessert popcorn, and I'm like, it's good, but then after a while I just don't like it. Like, I can't eat it anymore, right? So I definitely prefer the cheese popcorn, or like the salt, or even the spicy one. Sometimes you'll find popcorn, guys, and it's like spicy popcorn, like that has like a kick to it. It's really good, spicy popcorn, if you guys have never had spicy popcorn before. Drake said the restaurants are gonna start charging us for condiments. They don't want to give us anything anymore. That is so true. I remember when I was in Guyana and I came back to Guyana, one of the first breakfast meals that I had was from McDonald's. And when I ordered the stuff from McDonald's, okay, I had to ask the person. I was like, okay, can I have a fork? Can I have napkins? Could I have some ketchup? And when they gave me the ketchup, they only gave me 2 packets of ketchup. So, and then they had a sign behind them. So like now when you order food from McDonald's, at least if you go inside the restaurant, at least in New York, I experienced this in New York, when you order McDonald's, they're not even putting ketchup or forks in the bags in New York. They want you to ask for it, which is crazy. But like when you go to like, because we were on the road trip, right? So we drove through Georgia, we drove through South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, various states. We ordered McDonald's because that was like the go-to on the road, right? They put the stuff in the bag in those states. But in New York, because the sign was behind the person, like in the restaurant in McDonald's in New York, they're like, oh, you have to ask for everything. I'm like, that's so crazy. You gotta ask for everything. When I was a kid, everything used to be out, right? You go and like grab a handful, of this stuff. What are we saying? Aubrey said, what's your journey, Mia? Well, my journey that I'm sharing with you guys is to motivate you guys to be your positive, unique self, unique, authentic self. My journey / goal with YouTube, that's the first goal. The second goal is to amass more and more supporters and encourage you guys to watch my full nutritional YouTube videos, watch my YouTube shorts, watch my live streams to make enough money to pay off my student loan debt with social media, right? We're not relying 100% on social media, but it's definitely gonna help for sure. So yeah, that is the journey that I am sharing with you guys for social media, the goals for sure. Drake said, a part of me gets it, because think about how many times you throw the bag away without even using the condiments we didn't ask you for. That is so true, because like even the other day I got buffalo wings and french fries. It was so good. I could eat those buffalo wings again. I went to the Peach State and I got the buffalo wings. It was good, and it was like, I could eat those buffalo wings again. I told you the Peach State has the best buffalo wings ever. But anyway, the ketchup was outside, so I literally grabbed a handful of the ketchup. I was like in my head, like when I was like, why? And when I think about it now, I'm like, why did I get so much ketchup? And then I was looking at the ketchup packets, and then my mom was like opening the ketchup because she was eating the fries. She wasn't eating the chicken because she didn't eat chicken, but she was eating the fries, right? And I had to like, first I put 2 ketchup packets, and then I looked on the table, guys, and there was like 5 ketchup packets left. You know, I actually forced myself to open all 5 ketchup packets and squeeze it out for my mom to use for her french fries. Because so it's like, I haven't experimented. I guess that's a social experiment we need to do. We need to go to restaurants and test out what is the perfect amount of ketchup packets. Because I'm like, 2 is a little bit. 2 is not enough, right? 2 is not enough. But then if you get 5, that's like too much in my experience. So, and like once we figure out the perfect amount of ketchup packets, you just have to go to the person and be like, okay, can I have like 4 ketchup packets? Can I have like 1 if that's all you need? But that's why I like the other ones. If you go to Chick-fil-A, the ketchup packet at Chick-fil-A, it's kind of like the rectangular one, right? And you can either open it and squeeze it, you can open it and dip. I think that's the perfect container size. The little baby ones where you have to rip, I don't like those. But the ones at Chick-fil-A, all I need is like 1 of those ketchup packets from Chick-fil-A, and that's more than enough ketchup for my meal. So yeah. Okay, Chick-fil-A know what they're doing then. They know what they're doing for sure. And they already put that in the bag and everything. So yeah. I have to travel with BRB. All right. Your journey was the word. Okay, cool, Aubrey. Hopefully I see you next live stream or the comment section. My full nutrition on YouTube or YouTube Shorts. Always a pleasure when you're on. But welcome everybody. So we were talking about ketchup packets and the condiments that they put in the bags when you order food from McDonald's or like Wendy's or Chick-fil-A. I will say Wendy's, I used to love their sweet and sour sauce, and they took it off the menu. Now when you go to Wendy's, I'm like, they give you some type of sweet heat. I'm like, that's nasty. At least any of the Wendy's I go to, they never really have it anymore, so I don't know if they brought it back. Wendy's is pretty good, right? Their spicy chicken sandwich is good. Chicken nuggets is good. Yeah. But how's everyone doing who's on today's live stream? What are you guys planning on doing today? If I already asked you the question you answered, don't answer it again. If you don't have to answer it again. But for all the people who just hopped on, I would love to know, how's your day going today? What are your plans? This bowl, my mom got me the bowl. looking around and see if there's anything interesting I can show you guys. I mean, if you're a returning supporter, you know what this is, but if you're a new viewer here, this is a retelling of the Last Supper, right? So it's just like religion should be a representation of yourself, and that's what you see across multiple cultures sometimes, because religion was definitely used as a form of colonization in its early days, and a form of control as well, right? So people, to make people accept it and adhere to it, it had to look like the vast majority of people. Now, this is not a container. I put this in my room. Like, put stuff in there, not go there. Now, look at the hat. I think it actually looks better with the hat on. So we'll leave the hat on, I guess. So yeah, this is handmade. My mom said she bought it. I didn't buy it. I just be going in her closet and I take random stuff. Because people do that. I think more people do it because there's a new trend that's happening on social media where mothers, they'll buy a new dress, right? And they'll show their kid the dress. They'll walk around showing their daughters the dress, and you're like, what do you think about the dress? And then bam, a transition, the daughter's wearing the dress. So I did it a lot with my mom's clothes. For sure. Because it's like, she buys clothes, right, Queen Mother, and it's like when I need clothes, like I could just go in her closet and find something new, right? Or it's like sometimes she'll buy clothes and it'll either shrink when she washes it, or or she already bought the clothes that was not in her size. So I'm like, I go and I try it on and I'm like, oh wow, this fits and this looks pretty cool, and then I take it from her. And the thing about it, she doesn't even notice her clothes is missing until I wear it. She's like, isn't that my dress? So it's like, that shows she has too many clothes, because when I take it from her closet, she doesn't miss it. It's not until I put on the outfit and then I go outside with her, and then she actually looks at the outfit and she's like, wait, that's mine. I don't confirm or deny it, right? But like, that's what be happening. So I have to see. I think I have to cut my split ends. I think my hair grew for sure. I always say that, but I don't know. Yeah, I really don't see if my hair grew until like it's straight, flat iron straight. But I always cut the split ends because I heard that when I was a kid, people were like, oh, you always need to cut your split ends for it to grow. But I don't know when. Last time I cut my split ends was when I got my hair washed and blow dried at the Dominicans back in February, I think. February or March. So yeah. But yeah. But welcome everybody. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns for me? Would love to answer it. It's Saturday, so what is everyone doing today? I know King the Weather, they're gonna go over to the Sunday market. For me, I'm just gonna stay inside today. I already cleaned up my room, so just chillax. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, I just haven't filmed a video for you guys, so I do have to film a video. I'm gonna film the giveaway video today. I'm gonna edit it up, see if I could get it out to you guys today. Like I said, by Monday the latest, I'll have the giveaway video out for y'all. And that's basically it for today. My mom, what did she cook? She made potato salad like 2 days ago, so I don't know. Maybe she'll probably cook something today. I don't know what. If she doesn't cook today, I have food. I can make dumplings. There's dumplings I could make. There's fries I could make. You guys like Mia, even Queen Mother, has been like, you know, if I don't cook, she'll look at me, she's like, you know, if I don't cook, you can cook. And I just look at her. I'm like, yeah, I could, but I don't want to because it's not going to taste good. Like, what makes you think I'm going to cook at home when I was at school and I didn't even cook for myself when I was starving? At least when I'm hungry at home, I'm not starving. But like when I was at school, when I was hungry, I used to be starving, guys, because literally, like, I would probably, my last meal was probably the day before, around lunchtime. And I refused to cook for myself then, because I knew the food wouldn't be good. So, like, sometimes when my mom says that, when she'll be like, oh, you know, if I don't cook, Mia, you can cook food. I don't respond to her, but in my head, I'm like, what makes you think I'm going to do that? Like, what makes you think I'm going to do that? When I was at school, I didn't even do that. Like, the food's not going to be good. So yeah, so if Queen Mother doesn't cook, it's just a day where it's like, you know what? That's what we got Trader Joe's. Because Trader Joe's is a pretty good store with getting frozen, quick meals to make. Pretty good. So yeah, I guess that's why I like it so much. Because it's like, it's not that I can't cook. I mean, I can't cook. I can, but I can't. I have a few dishes I perfected. Like breakfast, I can make breakfast. Fried shrimp, I can definitely make fried shrimp from scratch. I make the best fried shrimp from scratch. I can do that. That's basically it. Yeah, like my mom when I was at school, she told me how to make ziti. The first time I made ziti, I told you guys it came out really good, and then after that, it didn't come out good anymore. So I was like, no. So I guess Trader Joe's is a fun store because I can buy stuff that's frozen and like you can just heat it up. And some of the stuff is kind of healthy, right? Because like the dumplings, the shrimp dumplings that I like to get from Trader Joe's, that's pretty healthy because you just steam it. And inside of it, it's just shrimp and like a little bit of vegetables. So, yeah. Salads are good too. What in the world? That was weird. Ow, it's cold. Salads are pretty good as well, guys. So, let's not. But yeah. But welcome everybody. How's everyone's day going? Do you guys like salads? Do you not like salads? Do you like to cook? Do you not like to cook? I already know some supporters are like chefs on the live stream. You guys like me? I'm always cooking this cool meal, and that sounds really good, guys. And I guess it's just trial and error if you want to learn how to cook, right? I guess that's all you have to do. Just like practice over and over again. So I guess maybe I don't want to learn how to cook. Maybe that's the problem with me. I just don't want to learn how to do it. And that's okay if I don't want to learn how to cook, right? I don't feel bad that I don't want to learn how to cook or that I don't know how to cook certain meals, right? So you got Queen Mother. She'll just make something good. Or Queen Mother doesn't cook anything good. That's why you got the stores. And that's why you always need to make sure you have a job that's paying you a lot of money. So when you don't want to cook or if you don't know how to cook, you can hire people to do it for you. So that's pretty good. But my favorite salad is chicken Caesar salad. I do like chicken Caesar salads. I haven't had one in a while, but like Wendy's has a good chicken Caesar salad. Walmart had a good chicken Caesar salad for a while, right? But then the only thing that used to freak me out, guys, with Walmart's chicken Caesar salad was that the chicken, it looked like it was like, what was it? Like roasted chicken. So like it was white, but it was cooked, right? So like I would leave it in the fridge, and I always had to eat it within the first 2 days because when I bought it from Walmart, it's already in the fridge. And then after, you don't want to keep it in your fridge for a whole week. But they were good, like, meal prepping things when I used to grocery shop for school. I always used to get those. Good meal preps, good meals. And then that's basically it. And then when I was at school, I used to make my own do-it-yourself chicken Caesar salad. All you need is lettuce, the Caesar dressing, and you can either do fried chicken, roasted chicken, barbecue chicken. I never use barbecue chicken, but all you do is shred it up and put it on top, and bam, you got chicken Caesar salad at home. So it's pretty good. And then what's my other meal that was my go-to when I was at school? I ate a lot of Chick-fil-A when I was at school. That was basically it, guys. Yeah, it was either chicken Caesar salad or Chick-fil-A. Fluctuated a lot between the two. Let's see if there's any other thoughts in my head, any interesting theories that we can talk about. But if there's any other comments, questions, or concerns, if you type in the chat. But if you guys like, hey, me, I want to be a silent viewer, that's okay. I'm just going to continue to talk until I run out of ideas. And then when I run out of ideas to talk about, if there's no comments, I'll just go ahead and end the live stream. So yeah, with chat sessions, you guys kind of control the conversation on what we talk about. But when we went to Georgia, I got a lot of stuff for back to school. So I got some clothes, shout out to Queen Mother and God, got some clothes, I got some school supplies. Stu got the school supplies, so shout out to Stu for that one. And I did an unboxing for all of those videos. So stay tuned, it is being released to you guys. I think what's happening now, the outfit videos are out for you guys. By next week, I think the school supplies haul is going to be out for you guys. So a lot of back content is being released to you. Talk about current events. What's happening in the world? I told you guys, I don't really like the news. When I'm at school, I'm oftentimes required to watch the news, so I really don't watch the news. But current events. Global warming is a big thing. That's current events. I know they have some case happening with like a woman. She was like Lindsay something is her name. I think she's on a trial for murder. She killed her kids. Allegedly she did that. Murdered her kids allegedly. But people were saying her husband did it. And I think she's trying to go via the insanity plea with things. Like I told you, the insanity plea works less than 1% of the time. So from a criminal justice perspective, they really need to show that she's insane. And based on some of the clips that I've seen, people have been showing that she has been experiencing remorse and like questioning what she did. And I'm like, people who are insane, they can still experience remorse, right? They can still experience that, right? But like, I mean, the main reason, to my knowledge, like I haven't been following the case. I know cases like that are on YouTube, but like they're too long. I'm not sitting down and watching like a 3-hour case. No, right? But let them turn it into like a PDF. I'll read it. I'm not watching it for 3 hours. But what is it? Yeah, but I think the main reason why they're trying to go the insanity plea with her based on the clips that I've seen, right? I could be incorrect, but like I said, I haven't seen the case. I'm just going off the clips that I've seen on TikTok. Is mostly because she has a lot of mental health conditions she said she suffered from. So, and she said, like, they showed she had to take a lot of medication. And as we know, medication can have a lot of negative side effects, can lead to a lot of different things. So that's why, but then people are also saying it was actually her husband who did it, who framed her, right? And the husband has now remarried. And I can see that happening, right? I can see how that could be a possibility, because the fun fact, most people think when ideas of serial killers and murders happen, particularly murders, right? Most people, statistically, most murders happen and just bad things in general to your family. Whether somebody robs you, whether somebody sexually assaults you, whether somebody unalives you, right? Most of those things happen with people who you know. It's people who you know who do those things statistically. So like when you look at serial killers, the person most likely to murder you is your husband or is your wife. I'm not saying that just offhandedly. Statistically, the person most likely to unalive you is your husband or it is your wife, right? Because that's the person you are spending your most time with. That's the person who knows your patterns. That's the person who just knows how to hide stuff from the public or can provide a justification if you go missing, and who the police is most likely to trust, right? So statistically, that's the statistics behind it. That's why, once again, if you ever get married, make sure you're not rushing into marriage, because you can marry somebody crazy and insane, and then bam, when you get into a situation you're stuck in, what are you gonna say? Oops, I didn't know you're already stuck, bro. Like, what? Drake said, I've been around so long, I remember watching her make the ZD live stream. Yup. I love salads, and you got me one. Well, salads are pretty good. I haven't had a salad in a while, but like a good salad is pretty good. So that's what I'm saying. So like people said her husband did it, but most of the evidence are leaning towards Lindsay, that she did it. So we know falsification of evidence is a real thing, but like that's more so for minorities and like disproportionate sentence, and that's more so for minorities and stuff. But she is a minority. She is a woman, and she is somebody who has a mental health condition. So her within herself, she is a minority. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, I'm hearing like almost every video I come across on TikTok, they're saying she didn't do it. They're saying it's the husband did it and the husband framed her. I don't know. Like, I can't provide my opinion on saying if the husband did it or like if she framed her or if she actually did it. Right? But like what I can say from a criminal justice perspective and from seeing the clips, it looks like they are going through all the evidence, right? They are going through all the evidence and they are dissecting it really well, right? So whatever decision they come to, whether saying she's guilty or not guilty, I would say based on what they're showing the public and how they are looking at the evidence, it would be a correct decision, right? Based on how they're dissecting it. And even as they're going through the case and looking at the evidence, some contradicted information for the husband has come up now, right? Because there was a clip where an attorney said something and the judge looked at the husband like, what? Like the judge was shocked that they never knew this before. So yeah, it's just a case to continue to look at, and that's the current events that's mostly been people have been speaking about in the world, I guess. Drake said, okay, as a psychoanalyst, okay, we are trained to look at the source first, and so Mia's right. Okay, so I said a lot. Am I right about like your significant other being like you're most likely to unalive? Which one, Drake? I'm sorry, I talk a lot. Okay, the spouse. Okay. All right, so yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like the two perpetrators are in the room. It's either the husband or it's either the wife who did it, Drake, right? It's either the husband or the wife. So most people are saying it's leaning towards the wife. And like I said, if the evidence show, I know people are probably not going to want to believe, because that's the thing with insanity too. That's why it works less than 1% of the time. Because people who go into that extreme mania, right? And you know it, Drake, because you study this, right? But people who are insane and like who go off their meds, and when they do stuff, it's like they black out in a way, right? It's like they genuinely don't know what they're doing. So when they're on their medication, right, and they see the crime they've done, yeah, they'll have remorse. Yeah, they'll have sympathy, and yeah, they will look innocent because it is a sickness. Going off your medication when you need the medicine and you have an extreme mental health condition, you need the medicine to function normally. And if you go off your medicine, you will think things are there that's not there. You will think your family member is like a monster and you have to take them out, right? You will think these crazy things and you will do stuff to hurt them. But when you get back on the meds, you're going to be close to normal. You're going to have your feelings. You're going to have your emotions, right? So people are saying she's innocent. Maybe she's not, right? If the evidence shows she's not innocent. She's just on her meds now, right? You don't know. But you just got to watch the case and see. It's very interesting. Because, like, this is, I guess, the main reason why, too, is because it's a sad story what happened, right? But, like, it's the insanity plea. And we always hear about the insanity plea in movies. But in real life, it doesn't work that often. It's very hard to prove for sure. Jake said, yes, you're more likely to die at the hands of your lover. It sounds wild. No, that is true. Like, which is crazy, right? So that's what I'm saying. People often say red flags. Oh, if you marry somebody and it's like, oh, they yelled too loud at you. Hey, yo, like, what? Or like you marry somebody and like you did something and their first response is to like, oh, react negatively or act in a way that's a red flag to you. Like that's a no-no, right? Like that's a no-no. So like people oftentimes see red flags and they ignore it. I'm like, that's not smart. Like no, that's stupid. Don't ignore it. Like what? But to each their own. But most likely person to do something is definitely the person who lives with you, for sure, and the person you marry. Jake said, that's why I never blame those people. They have no control over it. What they see is just as real as what I right now looking at you. Imagine how scary that is. That is true. That is true, Drake, right? So like for me, it's not hard. Like I understand it, right? Like for me, it's kind of like, it's like a two-way street for me, right? Because like, based on my education and like the degrees that I'm gonna start pursuing soon, like it's allowing me to dive deep into the idea of, okay, criminal justice and rehabilitation, right? So it's more so rehabilitation of offenders, right? But like when you look at it, it's like also, okay, what about the victims, right? So I get what you're saying, Jake, right? I totally understand that. You can't really blame the person, right? Because it's like they didn't know what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like they knew they had this extreme mental health condition. What makes you go off your meds, right? It's like a certain member of mine, they got sick, right? And they got really sick and they had to go somewhere and it disrupted my mom. It disrupted like my immediate family way of life, right? It's like, can you blame that person? Yes, because that person went off their meds. Like you knew what you were doing. You went off your meds, and then when something terrible happens, you want to play the victim and you don't want to be reprimanded. No, that like, so it's gray area. So like when you look at it from a criminal justice perspective, it's like, yeah, okay, this person needs rehabilitation, this person needs help. They didn't know what they were doing. You can't blame the person for committing the crime, but at the same time, in my head, they still need to be reprimanded because lives were lost or somebody was hurt. And at the end of the day, at least for that one woman, she knew she had the mental health condition, right? I don't know if she's guilty or innocent, we have to look, but they knew they had the mental health condition. What told you to go off your meds? Did you think you were magically healed? Like what? So like, that's what I'm saying, right? And then even people who commit crimes and they had an untreated mental health condition, I'm sure there were people around them who told them this behavior is not normal. You need help. And that's what I'm saying, like mental health is very important. People times often stigmatize mental health and see it as a bad, seeing a therapist, speaking to somebody, even Queen Mother, I will say, she has a negative perception about therapy and mental health and things like that a little bit, right? Now, I have to be careful, like if it's depression or something like that, I don't think my mom has a negative stigma on that, but like when it comes to therapists or stuff like that, like the amount of times I'll be like, you know what? You know this whole family wouldn't hurt from therapy? Like, you know what? We should just all go to group therapy, right? Like just speak about everybody's problems, right? Even the people you don't like, right? Just go to therapy. Can you guys do that? Like come together for the people you like and the people you don't like and just go to a therapist and speak about it. And she's like, no. She's like, that's not right. She's like, it's a bad record. You don't want that on your record. It's not going to be good. I'm like, okay, but like, what's the alternative? Speaking bad about people all the time, or like not talking to people at all and just speculating? Like, what? So like, people oftentimes view mental health and therapists and things as a stigma, which is bad, right? It's very bad because, I don't know, it's very bad. Sometimes you just need to speak to qualified people, an impartial viewpoint, right? So yeah, I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting for sure. Lucky said, okay, marriage advice. Who do you enjoy? What? Like, are you asking me? Do I have to channel my inner Phoebe Halliwell? But I'm so confused by your question when you say, who do you enjoy? How is that marriage advice? Like, in what context? And like, I need more context for that question to answer it. Hey, D Support, how you doing today? Glad you could be here. Should a person be considered legally insane if they understand that an act is wrong, but genuinely cannot control their behavior because of severe mental illnesses? Should a person be considered legally insane if they understand that an act is morally wrong? No, because from a criminal justice perspective, the test for insanity is asking the person, was this behavior good or bad? Literally, when you study criminal justice, I took a class like 2 semesters ago. That's how they test if a person's insane. They're like, okay, this behavior you engaged in, did you know this was good behavior or bad behavior? And if the person said no, the person's like, yes, I knew this was bad behavior, but they still engage in the crime according to criminal justice, that person's not insane. But at the same time, that same person can have extreme mental health conditions, right? So that's what I'm saying. I guess I should pay attention to the case a little bit so I can speak a little bit more on it, right? But like the main thing with her, even if they asked Lindsay that question, even if Lindsay said, yes, I knew this behavior was bad, right? I knew this act was wrong. Her defense, her attorneys are still pleading the insanity because they're looking at her other prior mental health conditions, and that's what they're trying to say. Even though she knew this act was wrong, she had multiple mental health conditions, right? So that influenced her behavior. That's what they're trying to say. They want the judge to understand that. I'm not sure if they have a jury, but if they have a jury, I guess they want them to understand that as well. So yeah, but that's the test for insanity. That's basically criminal justice. They literally ask the person, did you know this act was wrong? If the person's like, no, then they're like, okay, you're insane. And then they have grounds. But they're like, yeah, no, okay, you're tried as a regular person then. You knew it was bad. Okay, read that one. Drake said, but we'll say yes if you know it's wrong. You got to be punished. Yeah. So yeah, it's very tricky. Drake said it's her generation though. That's how they look at it. Oh yeah. Yeah, my mom's generation, with mental health. Yeah, that is true, right? So I get it. Like, I understand it because different generations, like, once you're a certain age, I guess, and that's why I always say being a lifelong learner is very important, but, like, and Queen Mother's pretty good at being a lifelong learner. Like, sometimes I'll tell her stuff and she'll internalize and she'll listen, but then there's other stuff. I'll be like, Mom, think about it this way. And she's like, no. She's like, I'm already this amount of years old. I don't want to listen to this. So there are certain things where she's flexible, but there are certain areas where it's like, no, she's kind of rigid with it. So, and like the thing about mental health too, I feel like my mom, like, she understands, like, for other people, it's like she'll be like, okay, therapy's good and this and that. But like, I think when it comes to like her dynamic and the people who she has control over, she's like, yeah, I get the idea behind it, but like, you know what, maybe not, right? You can just talk to me about it, or like, you can just talk to, like, I don't know, one of your family members if you have a problem with them or something like that. And it's like, yeah, but not really, right? So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, for psychiatrists out there, I mean, is there a name for that? Like, what is that? But it is definitely different generations for sure. And it's more so a racial thing too, right? Because I've read some research articles where you see that a lot, right? Like, even when people commit crimes, offenders, sometimes it's like their family knew they should have been receiving mental health treatment for offenders who committed crimes, or that offender themselves. They knew they should have received mental health treatment, but they didn't because of stigma. So like stigma is oftentimes on an African American community more often than a white counterpart or an Asian counterpart about different barriers. And I guess the reason why too is because historically and even to this day, mental health is definitely seen as a negative. So I do understand the idea behind saying, oh, maybe don't get mental health treatment. If I understand why people say it, I don't agree with it, right? But if somebody has a mental health condition and some certain people will tell them don't get a treatment for it, it's negative, like, I understand it because, okay, historically African Americans have gone through stigma and like, okay, you got over this hurdle, now you want to add another label on this, right? That's not good. But at the same time, like you said, you need to get treatment if you have this, like, because you need it, right? So, yeah. D-Support said, should the law focus more on punishment or treatment when a serious crime is directly connected to severe mental illness? Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, society, should America, I mean, America says the goal is rehabilitation. So, like for me, that's what, so like, as a criminal justice researcher, right, my goal is always to try to approach it in an impartial way, right? And if something says this, do this. Right? I guess I'm a rule follower a little bit. So if something says this is what you got to do. Right? Depending on what the rules are, obviously. Because I went to that museum in Alabama, I would have definitely been breaking some laws back in the day. Because what do you mean black people weren't allowed to enter white spaces? I would have been a rule breaker for sure. Right? So you got to be very specific. What laws is in place now, right? But in modern day, when you look at the criminal justice system, okay, the goal is rehabilitation. So that's a good question, D-Support. So like, I do think the law should more so focus on treatment when a serious crime occurs, if it's connected to a severe mental health condition, because the goal is rehabilitation. But at the same time, if the person was a mass murderer or a severe rapist, right, or a child abuser, and their justification is they had a mental health condition, personally for me, I don't care about treatment for that person. I want that person to be reprimanded, right? And that's where my personal beliefs and opinions come into play, and it kind of meets what is the goal, like what is my job or what is my area of expertise, right? What is my goal that I'm trying to accomplish, right? So yeah, so like from a rule follower's, from a researcher's perspective, that person should be rehabilitated, right? Because if their justification is they had a severe mental health condition and there's evidence to show that, yeah, let them receive treatment for it. And I guess that's when they go to a psychiatric facility. But it's my personal opinion, yeah, if you are a murderer, a mass rapist, a child abuser, you're going to be punished. I don't care about your rehabilitation. I don't care about your treatment, right? So I guess that's where it comes in to say, okay, what type of person are you? Can you take out your bias in this? And that's the thing about research projects, right? That's why sometimes you need to have multiple people review it for you and et cetera, right? You can't really have bias there. So that's the thing about criminal justice, which can get a little bit tricky, right? That's why I always say, even in the future, anytime I'm going to start doing like criminal justice research and stuff like that, that's why I'm explicitly staying out of non-violent arenas, non-violent crimes and things like that, because me and my bias, I don't know if I can take my bias out of that. Like, what do you mean one day if my area of interest is violent crimes, I'm going to have to provide recommendations and rehabilitation for a murderer or a rapist? No. What? No. So for me, it's non-violent crime. So drug offenses, for sure we could rehabilitate drug offenders, right? Arson, arson is burning stuff down, but like, if nobody was in the building, sure, we can rehabilitate you. Juvenile offenders who committed non-violent crimes, yeah, we can rehabilitate you for sure. But like violent crimes, no. Mental health, right? Once you're already incarcerated, right? And that's the thing, even people who are incarcerated, they may have committed a violent crime, but like, will you know? You really probably won't know. So that's why mental health among offenders, saying, okay, if rehabilitation is the goal, let's update the treatment for these people here, right? So you really have to know what you want and what you're comfortable doing, because with criminal justice, there's a lot of different ends of the spectrum you could go with criminal justice, right? So yeah, it's like even criminal defense attorney sometimes, right? I'm like, for me, like, if I ever become an attorney, I would never be a criminal defense attorney, right? Because I can do criminal justice from the researcher's point of view. I'm not defending a criminal. If you committed a crime, whether that's a violent crime and non-violent crime, I'm not defending you because like there was another way. There was another way to do it, right? So the only way I could ever like go into the world of criminal justice, right, is the way I'm doing now. Or if I'm working with FBI and they want me to like be a special be like a special agent for the behavioral analyst unit, right? I could do that for sure, right? I could go into the world of criminal justice there with the FBI for sure that way as well, right? Catching them but not defending them, right? So shout out to criminal defense attorneys. Why do y'all do it? I don't know. Right? I don't know why y'all do it, but maybe you're getting paid the big bucks. Imagine you're defending somebody who's part of like one of those crime families and you get the person locked up. Oh my gosh, you better move out of the country, dude. The whole family's coming for you. Do those families even exist to these days? In modern day, I don't know. But imagine that scenario. Criminal defense attorney is defending somebody part of a crime family and they lose the case. What do you think the family's gonna do, the ones who are still not incarcerated? You think they're gonna smile in your face and be like, I really appreciate your effort? In my head, I'm like, those people are going after you. Like, you can't live here anymore. Like, what? No. Hey, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here, 3111. I like my hat. Thank you so much. No, I did not get it in Guyana. My mom got it. I don't know where she got it from, though. Maybe the Bahamas or something like that. Hey Ben, how are you doing today? Hey Cam, welcome. What movie did you stay up late watching? I understand that, staying up late watching movies. But make sure to try and get your sleeping schedule back in order. I'm definitely getting my sleeping schedule back in order too, because like, even though I won't have classes very early when I start school, I still like to wake up early and like start reading and doing schoolwork. So I've been good. I've been waking up around 6:40, 7 a.m. I want to get that down to 6:30, but so far it's not too bad, What are you saying? G Support said, does our criminal justice system sometimes punish mental illness instead of treating it? For sure. Yup, 100%, right? And the way they punish it is kind of unknowingly, right? Prison overcrowding. Even once an individual is incarcerated, they do contribute to individuals developing a mental health condition. So not everyone who is incarcerated, they may not go into prison with a mental health condition. I wrote a paper about this, right? The idea of solitary confinement, right? That punishes offenders who misbehave. Prison overcrowding, that just creates a lot of noise. Non-hygienic environments, right? That contributes to individuals developing mental health conditions while they're incarcerated. The mixing offenders, right? Mixing young offenders with old offenders, violent offenders with non-violent offenders, right? People with different emotional intelligence levels, that can lead to a lot of stress and conflict and fights. That can all contribute to an individual developing a mental health condition or making a mental health condition that the person was unaware of more extreme while they're incarcerated. So that is the way, in my opinion, our criminal justice system more so punishes individuals with mental health rather than treating it. And then even when individuals know they have a mental health condition, they'll go to correctional officers, they'll go to physicians to receive treatment, and the person probably won't believe them. Why? Because they're underfunded and they're overworked, right? So yeah, for sure. Cam said, okay, I wanted to do, you want to be you want to be a criminal defense attorney your whole life, specifically for, wrongful convictions. Have you ever thought about it that way? I mean, yeah, but like, I would never do that. Like, if I ever do decide to like go to law school, guys, and become an attorney, I'm working in big law. Like, people say it's not for the money, but like, I'm doing it for the money, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, do you get paid that much in wrongful conviction? So like, it's a good way. So that's what I'm saying. I guess good idea I get my PhD too, right? Because I guess that's a way I could help people, right, with wrongful convictions and like a little bit, right? But like, if I ever become an attorney, I'm going big law, or I ain't doing it at all, because I gotta make the money. Those attorneys in big law, literally, they're like, they say they be making like, I don't know how much, but like, I saw one attorney, she's like, she made, I don't know, like $20K a month or something. Mind you, in her video, I don't know how true she was like, she had to work from like, she went into work like at 9 a.m. and she did not leave work until like 3 a.m. one day, but still, $20K a month, I don't care. So, yeah, like, I get my degrees for money. Like, that's the only reason why I do it. And because, like I said, like, I guess it's fun learning new stuff, but I get the degrees for money. My whole life, I was told the more degrees you have, a higher income earner you will be. So I don't go through all this work for fun, guys. I go through all this work so I can make myself more than qualified. So when I'm trying to apply for a job, when I'm serious about it, I'll get the big bucks or nothing, because I'm not doing it if you're not paying me what my degrees are worth. So yeah, Cam said also, okay, defense, okay, defense stream far beyond someone committed murder. Statistics show African Americans are put away longer than white people. I'd like to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, so shout out to you, Kim. Shout out to you. Like, that's pretty good, right? And you'll be even more knowledgeable with that, right? With your PhD doing the research. So when you, if you still decide to go to law school, you'll still be able to, like, do that and have more knowledge to help people for sure. And you'll have more connections too. So yeah, Cam said it's not about not putting people away. It's about putting people away equally, which is understandable. So yeah. What's big law? So that's essentially working for corporations. That's the slang for it. So it's like business attorney more so. That's the terminology for it. So it's like you're working for Ford or Goldman Sachs or some super major law firm. Essentially, it's just businesses. They're looking at contracts. They're looking at, that's what businesses do. They're just looking at contracts all day, right? Suing each other. So yeah, money's in the business. So anytime you look at like where most of the money are, it's in finance. So you can either be a finance bro or a finance female, right? Working on the ground floor, or you could work within the back office of finance. I'm sure with a PhD, you can do that too, right? But I don't know what the name of that job is yet. Because I remember I had a professor. She wasn't my professor, but she did have a PhD in public administration. And then when I graduated, she was leaving to go work for like a private corporation. And all the professors, I just used to hear them talking. They were like, oh yeah, she's making more money. That's why she's leaving. She's making more money. That's why she's going to work for the private corporation. So anytime you work in like for private corporations, private entities, that's what they call big law. So that's what it is. Cam said, well, yeah, I'm not going to be that attorney anymore. I've switched my plans to make more money, but one day I'd like to help in that area. Well, yeah, you could do that. And that was the cool thing about the museum, right? Because I always had a general idea of like what you can get, what you can do with a PhD, right? I always had a general idea, but going to the museum, it showed if you want to help people, right? If you want to help African Americans, if you want to help people who's going through wrongful convictions, a PhD in criminal justice, that's a way you can do that. Like, obviously, if you don't want to work at a museum, you don't have to do that. But, like, it's not even working for the museum. It's, like, starting nonprofits. It's, like, I don't know, just going to that museum and see if there's ways to collaborate. You guys have to watch the video. You have to go to the museum yourself in Alabama, and you will see what I'm talking about. But it showed me a different way, at least for, I remember before, anytime I speak about civil rights, I told you guys, if I was alive in the civil rights era, I would have definitely been an activist in the streets marching. That museum showed me a little bit. If I want to, with my PhD, I can be an activist right now for African American rights, for sure, because wrongful convictions with African Americans, it directly tied into the mission statement of that museum. It told us, yeah, we are no longer enslaved, but the new form of slavery is incarceration rates, the high incarceration rates for African Americans. And I already knew that, but having somebody tell you explicitly, comparing it to slavery explicitly, is very powerful. So yeah, so even with a PhD, guys, like, I often see videos sometimes saying, oh, you can only work in academia with a PhD, and people in academia don't get paid a lot. First off, that's not true. You can do a lot of other stuff with it, right? If anything, it just makes you more knowledgeable and overqualified, and allows you more opportunities to help people, for sure. Jake said, Cam, I'm hiring you. Decent words at big law attorneys make $235,000 for the first year associate, with senior associates reaching $455,000 base salary. Yeah, so that's true, but at the same time, the way I've approached my educational pathway in my career, you can say it's to make myself feel better, etc. But I've seen a lot of attorneys at the same time say they're unemployed. So big law is a great thing to do, but it's also very hard to get into big law, right? It's very hard to get into big law. Most people who get into big law, they either went to the best of the best school, or they knew somebody, or even when they went to the best of the best school, they just knew somebody, right? But the amount of people who are unemployed who are attorneys is baffling, right? And law schools, they accept how many students a year? Thousands of students or hundreds of students? PhD only accept like 10 students a year. So even though I see a lot of people saying how much money big law attorneys make, right? And I see people making videos saying how a little bit of money PhDs make. If I'm looking at a career, guys, I'm looking at a career. Do I want a career that's oversaturated, or do I want a degree that's undersaturated? I'll take the undersaturated degree. Now, if you can have both, that's great, right? I'll take both for sure. But if I have to choose, right, at least for this moment in time, I'm taking the degree that's undersaturated with the people. So, yeah. Cam said, LMA Drake, how much you paying? Well, Cam, how much you charging an hour is the better question, right? My mom's like, attorneys can just make up what they want to charge people an hour. Cam said, also, I believe that making change comes from an individual advocate 100%. With my PhD, you can work at the federal, private, exactly. You can make big money. You can also use your voice and ideas whenever I want superpower. That is so true, right? That is true, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so going to that museum was very good because, like, I liked it because it showed me the history of African Americans. You guys know I'm a history nerd, I guess, particularly for African American people. I'm in history for that, right? But, like, it also showed me all the other ways you can use your degree for advocacy. Because the whole time I was walking around the museum, in my head, I saw an essay. I just saw an essay, a very well-written essay that somebody took and they just added pictures to it. And they just charged people to go. And that's what I saw, a very well-written essay, because that's what it was. They had statistics, they had information, they just didn't cite their sources. I would have loved for them to cite their sources, if I'm being honest. I would have taken those sources and read my own essay using those sources, right? But, like, that's what I saw. So, yeah, the better researcher you are, you're able to be comfortable and confident in doing and taking the initiative and writing those papers, right? And then that's how advocacy can occur for sure, guys. So, yeah, so it just takes new knowledge. And that's what I'm saying. Like, not everyone in your family will teach you everything, right? Because, like, my mom, she always knew about a PhD, right? But, like, she never told me that could be a career pathway. She never told me what PhDs can do, what you can use a degree for. She only ever talked about a law degree, if I'm being honest, right? So, and that's not a fault on her own. She just shared the knowledge that she knew about, right? So it was really one of my professors that I took, right? I took a professor, and she was a good professor. I really did like her. I wound up working with her when I was in school. And it's like watching her and like doing the research with her, it was fun, right? Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the studies. I enjoyed like guest lecturing in her class. So I was like, you know what? Let's just apply and see what happens. And I applied and they accepted me, which is really cool. So yeah, so learning doesn't just occur from your family dynamic, right? It occurs from just random people you'll meet too as well, guys. Cam said, you just spit facts, Mia. I'm gonna disagree though, because when I came into my program, I realized exactly the fact you just spit. If you know, you know. Oh yeah. Cam said, my parents did the same. My professors taught me, then I taught my parents, and now they are all hands in. Exactly, right? So yeah, even sometimes I realize Queen Mother, like she understands it, the PhD and what it is, but even sometimes still, I see her, right? Certain things she'll say sometimes, and in my head I'm like, you're happy about the PhD, but not 100%. I can tell, right? But at the end of the day, I've learned that I don't care. You're not doing the work. I'm doing the work. It's my life, so I'll get the degrees that I want when I want to get them in the order in which I want to get them, right? So at least I won't go into student loan debt, right? Any other degree would have been student loan debt for sure. So I think the more I advance and the more I do in the program, then I'll learn a lot more, because I don't know a lot yet, right, about everything you could do with a PhD, right? My first year the first year just going to be coursework, and then after the first year I'm going to be able to do a lot more stuff. So just going with the flow and seeing stuff. So it's going to be cool, guys. It's going to be cool. I do know it's going to be stressful for sure. I've been seeing some videos, people saying how much reading they have to do, but I'm not going to let that intimidate me, guys, because I like reading, and I'm going to approach it the same way I've always approached it, like I said, right? I always approach my coursework with positive mindset, manifestation, and saying if I don't know something, I'm going to try and figure out the answer myself first, and then if I still don't know the answer, that's where I'll go to the professor and ask him for clarification, right? So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. D-Support said, criminal justice PhD could potentially professor, 140,000 consultant, plus 50,000 expert witness as research work, plus 30,000 total, okay, 220,000 a year, highly research consultant, 300K to 50K a year. Yeah, so, excuse me. So, yeah, the earning potential is definitely there for sure. And the thing about me, I'm just not criminal justice, right? My PhD is criminal justice, but your master's degree is equally important too, guys. So I also have a master's degree in public administration. So when I start applying for jobs, I think what could happen to me is that people will say I'm overqualified because there's a thing called underqualified. Overqualification will suck, but maybe I'll just start a nonprofit at that point in time. You never know, man, because it's very, imagine if I will crash out. Imagine that scenario. In the next 4 to 5 years, once I get all the degrees that I want, guys, imagine I apply for a job and they're like, Mia, you're overqualified. I will crash out. Like, that's when I will make a video on social media. And I will be that person saying, I have this amount of degrees. I spent this amount of time in school. And still nobody wants to pay me and hire me when I'm worth. I'm starting my own stuff. Who wants to join me? That's when I'll make a video like that, guys. I always said one day if you come across a video from Unique Lamia like that, don't be surprised. Because I see people making it all the time. And, like, it's sad when that happens because society for the longest time, guys, at least for Gen Z, my generation, our parents, teachers, everyone always told us to be successful, you need to get this, this, this. And then once you get it, the social contract isn't being upheld by society. It's very annoying and frustrating, guys. Cam said, intelligence analyst, research analyst, and firms, investigation. There's so much you can do. Exactly. Cam said, and there's so much I can do outside of teaching. Exactly. I'm not teaching. You don't want to teach. I'm excited to use my knowledge to get a high-paying job that I enjoy. Okay, very nice, very nice. Jake said, I'm proud of you, Cam, about to be a big black lawyer. Cam said, I probably won't be an attorney anytime soon, Drake, but thank you. LOL, I'm using my PhD for something different, but kind of the same. You'll see when it happens, Drake. Okay, very nice, very nice. When I make it, I won't forget you, Jake, Cam said. Okay, nice. Hey, TX, how are you doing today? Jake said, either way, either way it goes, you're going to be successful, Cam. Yup. So that's the thing with getting a lot of degrees, guys. It provides comfort with knowing once you get it, you'll never have to do it again, right? And then once you get it, too, you'll be successful. Because as I always say, if society ever decides to do a reset, right? If society ever decides to do a reset and they're like, you know what? Influencers aren't going to make the most money anymore. Nepotism is no longer a thing. Business owners, you can be successful as a business owner, but it's not no longer a thing. What is society going to revert back to? The degrees. That's what they're going to revert back to. And people are like, Mia, that can never happen. I pay attention to the world a little bit, right? I don't watch the news every day, but based on what I know, guys, society is it's not going back, but it's like the new generation of people, Gen Z a little bit, if you know a little bit about Gen Z and the opinions of Gen Z sometimes, it's leading in a very interesting way. Like, it's pointing in a very interesting direction for sure, where a reset of society, not a total reset is possible, but traditional values, right, in terms of jobs and family dynamics, it's definitely re-emerging for sure, in my opinion. So it doesn't hurt to be educated and have the degrees to back it up. D Support said, what guest made you laugh the hardest? Like, on the live stream? I don't really know. A lot of supporters make me laugh occasionally. I can't really think about one in my head, though. TX said, are you Andre from the Outskirts? Outcast? I've never seen that before. Andre, I've never seen that. Cam said, that's right, Drake, thank you. Cam said, me, I was watching, Devil Wears Prada 2. How do you like it? But he said I didn't like it that much, but I absolutely love it. Unpopular opinion, truly believe it connected to the first movie. I really enjoyed it. Okay, that's nice. I mean, I liked it because of the fashion, right? My mom, she don't like it, but I liked it because of the fashion. But it's interesting that you think it connected to the first movie. I have to rewatch it then. Because, like, I saw the first movie once when I was younger, and then I never really saw it again. But, hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, who was the characters? Oh, yeah, they had all the original characters there, too, and some new ones, for sure. I think it was a very, like, fun, light movie. But did you see the Odyssey? Okay, so yeah, you saw it through a deeper lens, Cam. So yeah, that's the difference. So yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, if you critically dissect the movie, then I understand why you liked it a lot more. Cause like when I saw, like I said, I didn't really remember the first one, and I just went in seeing and say, oh, what's it about? So I just went on the surface of it. Cam said, I can explain why, but it's too long of an explanation, so I'll have to explain another time. Okay, yeah, for sure, do that, for sure. I think that's for me and the Odyssey. So I feel like the way you saw Devil Wears Prada 2, Cam, is how I saw the Odyssey when I compared it to the book, right? Because I know a lot of people may have seen the Odyssey and they were like, wow, great movie, great action movie, and they were happy with it, right? For me, I was happy with the Odyssey, but I was also disappointed because I compared it with the book. So, and it's like, it's not 100% like the book. It's a good action movie, Greek mythology movie, in my opinion. Not the same as the book. They had some scenes in the book that was good. Like the ending scene, I can't spoil it for people, but like if you saw the Odyssey, you know, the final action scene, like, I don't know, it was very interesting. It was like in the book. I was excited for that scene because if you read the book with the bow and arrow, I was like, okay, it's happening, people, in my head. I was like, it's finally happening. So that was a cool scene. You haven't seen the Odyssey yet? Watch it, Cam. It's a good movie. It's a good action movie. Like I said, it's different from the book, but you'll see some scenes that if you've read the book, you're going to be happy with it. And I know not everyone read the book. So, like Bianca, she's never read the book. I was like, wow, I thought it was required. It's a good book to read. I like it. It's a really good one. But welcome everybody to the live stream. Glad you guys could be here. Last night my nail, it kind of like, it didn't split, but it kind of went in, so I had to smooth out the rough edges of it, the corners. Cam said, Mia, I had to upgrade. Oh no, a streaming service to watch. Wow, all the Harry Potters. What streaming service is that? They used to be available through basic plans. Now they're, on premium subscriptions everywhere. I was appalled. Like, wow, they know what they're doing. They want the money. I know Stu bought all the movies with his Apple TV thing. So anytime I want to see it, I just have to go on Apple TV and buy it. Do you have the DVDs, Cam? I have the DVDs too. But DVDs are not really a thing anymore. So wait, Cam, you said you have an iPad, right? Look to see if you can purchase the movies via Apple Movies and put it on your iPad. Because for the streaming service, don't you have to pay like every month for it? That can be costly, right? And you can probably take, I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 months of how much you would pay the streaming service and just buy all the movies and put it on your iPad. And connect it to your Apple ID. So when you change your iPad, you'll still be able to get the movies via your Apple ID. When I was younger, I did that with Twilight. Like I told you guys, I was obsessed with Twilight. So I actually purchased the Twilight movies. I purchased all the Twilight movies and then I put it on my old iPad, but I lost the Apple ID. I still have my old iPad. The only thing wrong with it, the glass, it kind of broke, so I can still always watch movies if I want, but I did that and that was good. Oh, you don't have the DVDs. I need some form of them. So yeah, look into seeing, if you haven't thought about it, look to see if you can buy it and put it on your iPad, because that could save you some money in the long run. Because those monthly subscriptions, it's like Netflix. Like, that's what Netflix be doing sometimes. Because like, I have the standard Netflix because it comes free with T-Mobile, but it has ads. So like, every movie that's on Netflix, I can't watch every movie or TV show that's on Netflix because sometimes Netflix lock and they want me to pay extra. I'm like, you know what, Netflix, I don't need to see that. You keep it. I'm gonna enjoy my free TV shows and movies that I could watch. Hey, how are you doing today, Mystic? Glad you could be here. Is that a basket on my head? Why, yes, it is. It is a basket hat. And if I get tired while I'm outside and I don't want to carry stuff, I could just be like, you know what? Multifunctional, guys. Pretty good, if I do say so. And I say so, so yeah. Cam said I had to upgrade. Oh, okay. Stu has that platform. I don't think he likes it, though. You like it? For me, it's like, then again, I really don't watch TV, if I'm being honest. But I think Stu, he said it's like kind of hard to navigate for him. You're gonna binge watch them in 2 weeks? Yeah, because you're going back to Universal Studios. Okay, then downgrade. That's smart. Okay. I just really want to rewatch them for my trip. It's fresh in my room. That's what I did too. Before I was going to London to the Harry Potter studios, I made sure I saw all the movies. I wanted to have it fresh in my head. So when I went there, I was like, oh, wow, I saw that. I was like, wow, that's the Gryffindor common room. That's the Slytherin's common room. So yeah, I wanted to have it fresh in my head. But yeah, I rewatched the Harry Potter movies. I feel like it's in the season. So anytime it's like October, November, that's when I rewatch it. And fun fact, did you know that like Harry Potter movies, when it first came out, it came out like in July, I think. It came out in the summertime. When we went to the Harry Potter studios,
I saw like the billboard. You can go watch the Harry Potter video if you guys haven't seen it. It's on my London playlist videos, my Europe playlist videos. It was a summer movie that was released. I always thought in my head that Harry Potter was like a fall movie, that it came out like in October or November, even December. But nope, they released it in the summertime, which is very interesting. Aubrey said, Mia, okay, what is strategies for balancing studies with caregiving responsibilities? I mean, you got to prioritize your time. So prioritization is very important. Like, who are you taking care of, Aubrey, is the question, right? If you're taking care of a little kid, then, I mean, daycare, that's where the kid's other parent would watch the kid while you're in school, right? And remember, just don't allocate time for when you actually have classes. You need to allocate time before you have classes, right? Because you need to study, you need to read your textbooks before you have classes, right? And then when you get to class, you need to, like, obviously can't watch the kid while you're in class. And then after class, right, if you do homework after class or maybe on the weekends, right, you need to allocate time for that. So I think prioritization is very important, right? You need to know what's most important. Like I said, when I was in undergrad and a little bit for grad school, I had like a lot of jobs while I was a student, and I still did really good in school, right? So I always said my schoolwork comes first, right? And then any jobs that I have that's paying me a salary, weekly or bi-weekly salary, that came second. And then everything else after. So like for you, it's a little different because you're taking care of somebody. So like, yeah, it's very important to know what type of caregiver you are. Is it somebody who needs constant attention, somebody who can be left alone for a little bit, somebody who can watch the other person? So if it's like your job, right? Yeah, I can't really tell you what to do. You need to figure out what's most important to you. Is your studies most important to you, or is caregiving responsibilities most important to you, right? Because for me, my studies are most important to me because I don't really like if I have a job, I mean, like, it's not that important. I don't really need the salary. I just do it just to do it. I mean, with my new program, it is required, so it is that important, right? I'm required to work to get the funding, so I don't pay anything, right? So, but like at the same time, schoolwork is like number one, right? But for some people, it's flipped. Some people need their job, right? Because they need the money. They need the money to pay bills, buy groceries, pay rent, pay for their mortgage, right? They need the job, so their studies have to come second. So, yeah. Just figure out what's important for you and then create a schedule. Like, anytime I start a new semester, I always look at my syllabus. For the first week, it's kind of iffy because for the first week, you're kind of jumping to get used to the schedule, see what class you think is going to be a little easier, what class can be a little harder, so you can focus more or less time, right? But, like, after the first 2 weeks, right, just create a schedule. Say, okay, you're going to spend 2 hours on this class, 2 hours on this class, then you're going to take a break, and then you either go back to the class or you go to your class in person, and then on the weekends, you get caught up or you do homework. Just create a schedule like that. So, yeah. But, like, to each their own, because everybody has their own things that they're happening, that's going on in their life. Everybody has what's stresses in their life, things that are, like, important to them, not important to them. So, yeah, you just got to figure out for you and just put what's most important to you. Make it important, right? Everybody has 24 hours in a day, right? So, schoolwork isn't, when you're in school, it's not really the time to, like, have fun, right? I mean, like, you can have fun occasionally, but, like, predominantly you should be doing your work, right? I mean, for me, and tip to all people who's in school, take 2 hours every day if you can, right? And just take a break. Whether that 2 hours is just taking a nap, reading a book, watching Netflix, it could be your long lunch break. And that's a way to, like, de-stress throughout the day, right? I used that method when I was in undergrad. I think I started using that. I just was consistent when I was in grad school, and it was pretty good. So don't take 2 hours before you start the schoolwork. Do your schoolwork first, and then take a 2-hour break, all right? Some people are like, okay, Mia, you're telling me I can take 2 hours before I start my schoolwork? No. And then you have to understand, when are you most productive, right? I'm most productive in the, the morning time. I'm most productive. That's why I'm in school. That's why when I'm in school, I like to wake up ridiculously early and just get started my work. Because, like, after a certain time, I just get really tired. I get unproductive, right? So, and it's not saying you're knowingly being unproductive. It's just that your mind starts to wander. So the earlier you do stuff, the better. And if you get confused too, the earlier you do stuff, you can always email people and they can answer early too. So that's basically it, guys. So, yeah. Shout out to everybody who's on today's live stream. I really appreciate your continued support and engagement. It really means a lot. For all the returning supporters, welcome back. For all the new viewers here, I'm Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. I'm a Bachelor of Science, Psychology, Professional Writing, Master degrees public administration over here, criminal justice over here. Excuse me. And I have videos from travel, education, hair, nails, shopping videos, unboxing videos, food videos, and a lot more. What are you guys doing today? Would love to know. As I said, I'm just staying inside today. Might go outside tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going outside tomorrow. I'm gonna go to the movies tomorrow, so that's gonna give us something to do, which would be cool. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. Just a chill day, if I'm being honest. There's no snacks in here. There's cherries, so I'll eat out my cherries. I have that. Cherries are really good. The cherries, I got it in from Publix in Georgia. I should have gotten 2 bags, but it came all the way from Canada. Like, I read the bag. I'm like, wow. The cherries came all the way from Canada. I don't really see cherries in New York. Then again, I don't really look for cherries when I'm in New York. So maybe if I look, I should have gone to Trader Joe's, bro. They probably would have cherries. Next time I'm in downtown Brooklyn or Manhattan, I'll go to Trader Joe's and look for my cherries. Because I feel like Trader Joe's would definitely have them for sure, guys. But yeah, that's basically it. That's it. Yep. And this is a little doggy. This is G's. Is this G's? No, this is mine. I think she's my cousin. Yeah, she's my cousin. I went to her birthday. She turned like 5, I think. And she gave me a goodie bag and it had little dogs in it. So that's cool. But does anybody have any other comments, questions, or concerns? I'm thinking about other things to talk about, but like, I think I updated you guys on everything that was happening with me today. Everything that I didn't update you guys on, it's already content for you guys, so make sure that you guys are subscribed with your post notifications on. As I said, by Monday the latest, I'm going to be releasing a video on how you can enter into the giveaway. I'm going to be asking 3 questions, so I guess I'm giving you guys some homework. If you are from the United States and you want to win a giveaway item, you can either win this bracelet that I got from Guyana, you can win a keychain, or you can win an artwork. I'll let you guys choose what you want if you win, right? I have 3 questions I'm going to be asking you guys. You only have to answer 1 question, but the answer to the questions are found in my Full Nutritional YouTube video. So it could be anything that I can ask you a question. The answer may be from Europe, it may be from Guyana, it may be from America, based on any of the videos that I posted in the year 2026. So yeah, go watch those Full Nutritional YouTube videos and brush up on the information so you guys have a chance of winning. Hey Lifestyle, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. We're just having a chat session. We spoke about a lot on today's live stream. I showed you guys my nails. I found this hat. I spoke about like the Lindsay case a little bit. We spoke about various degrees and income levels. Spoke about the museum that I visited in Alabama called the Legacy Museum. Definitely recommend you guys check out that Full Nutritional YouTube video. And now, just seeing how's everyone's day going, seeing if there's any other comments in the chat, anything at all. But yeah, if there's no comments, I might go ahead and end the live stream with these chat session videos. You guys know, if you're a returning supporter, once the chat gets a little bit quiet and once I have nothing else to talk about, that's when the stream tends to end. So I live stream on Mondays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I said, my Monday live streaming schedule will be disappearing when I start school. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm gonna remove it. I may keep the Friday live streaming schedule at 4 p.m. and I'm gonna keep the Saturday and Sunday live streaming schedules. Those are just gonna be like spontaneous live streams. For the first week of school, I might just cancel all my live streams for that week, or if I do a live stream, it might be spontaneous for the first week. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I'll see what I'm gonna do. Yeah, during my first week of classes, I just like to focus on my schoolwork, right? I don't really like having to do other stuff, right? So I might cancel first week of classes live streams, but for the second week, I might do it again. Like, just go back with the live streaming schedule. I don't know yet. That's one thing for all my new supporters who are here. You had the luxury of getting a consistent schedule at Uniquely Mia with ridiculously long live streaming schedules. Unfortunately for you guys, when I start school, those live streamings, the frequency in which I stream will definitely decrease, right? And the length in which I stream may decrease as well, right? But like I said, schoolwork comes first for me. So yeah. Okay, read that. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Let's play some Jeopardy music in the background. Do 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 questions or comments are in the chat. So shout out to Drake, King of the Weather, Raul, Cam, Bemil, Aubrey, CJ, Gangster, Izzy, Yamha, Aubrey, Easy24K, Deli Man. Who else was here? Lucky, Chloe, Lifestyle, College, Sammy, 2X, Sean, Steph. I think I got everybody. Cam, Ben, D Support, Drake, TX. I may have gotten everybody for the first time, guys. Mystic. Shout out to everyone for being on today's live stream. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate your continued support and engagement. Remember, my next live stream will be tomorrow, spontaneously. Probably do that live stream in the afternoon for you guys, actually. Yeah, I'll do tomorrow's live stream in the afternoon. Maybe late afternoon, not early afternoon. So that's a general time frame for you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at a spontaneous live stream time for you guys. If you want more of Uniquely Mia after the stream, make sure you guys go watch my Fling Traditional YouTube videos, YouTube shorts. Also follow me on TikTok if you haven't already.